Welcome everybody, welcome, episode 90 of the live streams. Episode 90, man. I've done 90 of these things pretty much in a row. I think we took a week off last year. Late again, no I'm not. Half past on my screen. I think I took 1 week off last year when I was on holiday, but I think you can forgive me for that because that's not a terrible excuse, is it? But we've pretty much been consistent. It's been every week. Pretty much every week. I'm quite proud of that, to be honest. 90 episodes, man. Today, I'm going to be talking a little bit about soft washing setups because, unfortunately, not the trolley again. Unfortunately, we've been doing a bunch of roofs and stuff recently. And luckily, praise the Lord, my friend Rich has been with us because my gardener backpack has just given up. It's just like, it's charging, it's running for about 5 minutes and then it just starts trickling out. Like it appears to be, I leave it on charge all night. I don't know whether it's the charger, whether it's the battery. It's got a larger capacity battery in it than it had as standard because I replaced it. Maybe it's a bad battery. Maybe it's the wrong battery. Maybe I've wired it up wrong. Maybe there's something going wrong with the chemical pump now. I don't know. So rather than just replace that, I think I'm going to do a proper jobby. Not a jobby. Someone told me not to use that word because it means poo. A jobby means poo in Scottish. A proper job I need to do and get some sort of permanent, versatile solution to my soft washing issue. And what I want to do, I want it to be able to apply biocide, TFR, synergy, hypo, everything. So I want to be able to wash it out. I want to be able to use it, just like I do with that basically. Larger capacity battery, bigger pump, more flow, longer between charges. I want to do it right. I want to do it exactly perfect for what I need, basically. Andy, welcome. Jack, welcome. Craig, I'm not late. What are you talking about? Chris, welcome. Gleamguard. Matt Boosh. Darren, I'm hoping you're going to help me tonight. You said you're not too clever on 12 volt stuff, but I think you're probably more qualified than I am. How's the non-drinking going? Jamie, it's going well. I was describing it to my friends the other day. I've flicked a switch in my brain and it's no longer an option. It's just not on the table, so to speak. I've never done that before. It's always been, who am I doing this for? Like, is it for me or is it for Soph or is it for the business or is it for the family? And now I'm just like, it's done. Don't even think about it. I saw a picture of a beer. Someone put a picture on their story the other day of like 2 beers near the coast. I was like, yeah. It doesn't even... Before, I used to get those cravings where I was like, I'd see an advert on telly or on YouTube of someone pouring a pint. It was like, oh, that would be perfect. But I just don't care anymore. And also, these guys have come in at the right time. This holy drink. I think they're going to be a new sponsor on the channel by the sounds of it. So, literally, a couple of days after I quit, this starter pack turned up at the door. And so I've basically just been substituting the alcohol for these holy drinks. And this isn't an ad because they're not a sponsor yet, but it came at the perfect time. That's not even a holy drink. It's lemonade and orange juice because I've run out and they're going to send me some more. Consistency bang on, yeah. Your mom sells Avon. How strange. I'm designing my new van with a full soft wash unit. Nice. I was thinking about things like interchangeable tanks. Like one would have maybe a pure water pure water like DI filtration system, and then I could switch it to a different tank for like a chemical system. It could be a full setup in the van. I'm thinking about just putting it on a trolley though for simplicity. Negan, welcome. Mills, welcome. You've made one. Send me a picture on Instagram or Facebook or something. That's someone I've not seen in a long time. Who's that, Dumbo? Dumbo. Give me all your ideas so I don't have to think. Stardust, welcome. Thanks, Jamie. Selling us out for sponsors. He's turning into one of them. I mean, wouldn't you? It's something I actually enjoy, so it's not difficult. You'll never catch me pushing a product that I wouldn't use. I use Mimoja almost every day for quotes and stuff. Smart Seal stuff, I use their stuff all the time. Pure Seal stuff, I was affiliated with them, I use their stuff all the time. Is what it is. How would you clean decking that's painted blue without taking the paint off? Would a soft wash be best? How bad is it? If it's not crazy, it's just got algae and it's just a bit slippy, I'd start by biociding it and just leaving it 3 or 4 weeks and just see what happens. Really brush it in, get a nice stiff brush, and really, I'd go bucket and brush, and just depending on how big the deck is. Biocide, yeah, just brush it in, let it foam up, and tell the customer just wait a couple of weeks and let's see what happens. And if you're still not happy, I can give it a very light pressure wash with maybe very light pressure wash. I don't know. I've never really cleaned a painted deck before, which is strange. Hi Tracy. Been having a right time with Royal Mail. 5 weeks late on 10,000 leaflets. They're expecting them to go out this week. It's not a cheap investment either, is it? When you're talking about 10,000 leaflets, that's a decent amount of money. And then getting Royal Mail to actually put them out, and they're late. Imagine that. I feel like that you've got grounds for some sort of, because that could be super important to a business, like having these leaflets. These leaflets are seasonal. They need to go out within this period of time, and if they don't, we've missed the boat. So you might want to just send a couple of emails and just say, look, we've sort of missed the boat on this. I'd like some money back or something, maybe. Unless you're not that bothered. I think Liam's just done thousands of leaflets out with Royal Mail. There's a couple of other chaps in the Discord that have as well. Hi there, done my first job today with my Parker brand pressure washer, but found the hose kept tangling up when I finished. Noticing a little nick in the cable hose, must have touched the hot part of the machine. Oh no, that's annoying. The hose kept tangling up. Yeah, hoses do be like that, and that one's a particularly stiff hose as well. It's quite like a rubbery, like a plasticky stiff. There's not much flex to it, is there? Maybe give it a couple of weeks. The hose might soften up. Because you remember it's been coiled up and it's not been used, and so you might find it just softens up. Came across the channel at the weekend. Glad to see you doing well from the old Twitch days. Dombo, did you used to watch me play video games on Twitch? That's pretty crazy if you did. No way. Welcome. Dombo, I recognise your name, actually. Daisy? Is it Daisy? Or Battlegrounds? Evening Bee's Knees, welcome. You did great on that graffiti job. Rich has just been struggling with the graffiti job last week. Which product did you use for that to remove that graffiti? And did you have steam or was it just cold water? Because he applied this chemical about 10 times and he just couldn't get it off. Evening Ray, Grime to Prime, welcome. Anyone want to take some bets on how long it takes before Jake's an hour behind the chat? It's not going to happen tonight. I'm just breezing through the messages. It's not going to happen. Must also get the wrong turbo nozzle and water coming out the side of it. If there's water coming out the side of your turbo nozzle, You just need to take that quick release fitting out, put some PTFE tape around it, and really do it up nice and tight, and you'll be fine. Or there's an O-ring. There's an O-ring in the end of your lance that needs replacing, but if it's a new machine, you shouldn't be having that issue already. Georgie, hello. How's it going? We went out for burgers with Georgie the other night. You're right. Why are you watching this? I can understand Dan occasionally watching. Why are you watching? What information are you going to get that's going to benefit your life from watching? Anyway, how much does 10,000 leaflets cost to be dropped by Royal Mail? That's a good question. How much do they cost? Craig, I don't know what you're talking about. We have you on the big screen lounge. Nice. Big screen in the lounge. Nice. Right. A couple of videos that I just want to look at because I've had a little scroll on Facebook and found some interesting things that you guys might. Where's my notes? Where's my notes? Yeah, we've been putting down a lot of biocide recently, and I can't really afford for my backpack not to be working. And I don't want another one, to be honest. I've sort of outgrown it as a business. It's good. It's made that backpack there has made me so much money, and it's so versatile, and you can do so much with it. But I think I want to spend another couple of £100 and just get a proper setup that's the battery's gonna last longer, the pump's gonna be higher flow, and it's just I can just put anything through it. I want to get one of those chemical application lances as well, so we'll talk about that in a bit, but we've got some other bits to go through. So someone on Facebook the other day cleaned this thatched roof, and they didn't tell me how they did it, but I'm fascinated. Greenway soft washing, very prominent in the exterior cleaning community. Have a look at that. Lovely cottage in the Cotswolds. Had the moss gently removed and received a treatment of biocide. How have they done that? Is it best for me to do that? And then I can't remember last time I saw a landscape picture on Facebook. So that's the before. Bearing in mind it's a thatched roof, and I think thatched roofs have got like a wire net over the top of it. And if you imagine all is it hay, straw? I understand biocide on thatch, but how are you removing the moss first? Because if you do it legally, you need to make an attempt to mechanically remove that moss first, which they have, because you can tell by the pictures they have. Look at that. There's no moss on there now. But how would you go about removing it? I feel like with a brush. Actually, people do brush thatched roofs, don't they? So maybe a brush first, maybe like a wire. But it's like a chicken wire. You wouldn't be able to wire brush over chicken wire, surely. There are thatch brushes and special tools for thatch. Oh, okay. Yeah, you can see. I think the moss has been removed first. It has, hasn't it? There is still some green there. I can't tell because that after photo, that could just be after all the moss has gone brown. I can't tell if yeah, it says moss gently removed and then biocide applied, so they must have done it first. But I think that's fascinating. I said it'd make for a really great video, that would. Looks like they've done a really good job, because I always drive past, in like Henley and Arden and stuff, I always drive past these thatched cottages, And I think, how the hell? They're covered in green. Absolutely. It seems to be like a really good place for all the moss and the... Some of them got little trees growing out the top of them. Looks like a real good habitat for moss. But that is chunky moss, that is. It's like a thick carpet. That doesn't even look as bad as some of the ones I've seen, so that'd be quite an interesting line of work to... I wonder if you could specifically advertise for that as a service. Moss removal for thatched roofs. By the way, we've got a new Smart Seal code. Because Nigel let me know that... you know, does anyone know that? There's the code there. Look, Smelt 11 now in March for 10% off. Nigel told me that the you know that Honey, the website Honey, it's like a browser extension. They scrape the whole internet and get all the discount codes off the internet. And then as soon as anyone clicks on the website and they've got the Honey extension, it just gives them the discount code, even though they've never been a viewer of mine, they've not seen any of my content. They're just on the website and they get... He said he's had like loads of redemptions from just random people for random items. So, not Love Honey, no. Different website, mate. Dan's #1 fan. 10,000 leaflets with Royal Mail is around 800 quid. Is that good or bad? I mean, if you were going to pay a labourer to go out and put 10,000 leaflets out, I mean, what are you going to do? Like 250, 300 a day? You could probably do more than that, actually. It's just that we don't work long days. But I sent Jakey out, and I reckon he did about 250, 300 in about 4 hours. But these were like big estates, big houses, lots of walking between them and stuff. So I don't know what's normal. How many would you expect per day? Like an 8-hour day? If you were to pay someone, what, 100 quid a day? Is that too much for leaflet dropping? 80, 90 quid a day for leaflet dropping? 8 hours? How many do you think they could do in a day? You know what I mean? Is 800 quid for 10,000 leaflets worth it? I'd say it probably is. You know? The only trouble is, if it's going out with Royal Mail, you probably expect that they're going to pile it with a bunch of other leaflets as well. And so they might just collect them all at the door and stick them in the bin, you know what I mean? I might be totally wrong, I don't know. Pressure washing Midlands, welcome. Used to pop in whenever any games moved away from that old name. Yeah, that the old Twitch name was... yeah, not ideal for this sort of content, I suppose. Somewhere around 825 quid to get them delivered. Get a partial refund, yeah, don't blame you. I used Formidable from Pure Seal with the ghosting chemical too. I used my cold machine first, wasn't too happy, so I took my hot karcher the second day. You got a cold pressure washer and then a hot karcher. That's interesting. Is it a lot of work, would you say? And would you say the heat massively helped? So it's not all about just the chemicals. It's you really could do with some steam when you're removing graffiti then. Thank you. You're the best on here. I can see how you have made a successful business and even employed someone now. Well done, Steve Milton Keynes. Thanks, Steve. That's very kind of you, mate. That's big words. You're the best on here. Do you mean on YouTube? That's very kind. I wouldn't say I'm the best. I just enjoy it. I love it, to be honest. It's hard to be enthusiastic about something you're not passionate about, and so I actually find this stuff interesting. So try the leaflet guy. They wear cameras as they post your leaflets, plus it's supporting a company setup rather than Royal Mail. Yeah, I've never heard of that. The leaflet guy. It's a good idea. Only some of them have wire mesh. I assume they use Steve's magic brush. Steve's got a magic brush. I bet that moss glows in the dark. See you, Craig. You're still not drinking? I'm not. I'm going to do 12 months. I've said it now. I haven't said it out loud up until this point, but I think I'm going to do 12 months. I think I am. I'm going to do 12 months. It's going to be a tough summer. Maybe. Maybe not. I feel like I'm more on top of stuff, you know. I feel much more organised. These streams are definitely easier when I haven't had a drink. Like if I drank last night heavily, or if I was drinking on stream tonight, I wouldn't be able to like form sentences very well and stuff. Like I trip up on myself and I forget what I'm going to say, and this is so much easier. You okay? I paid a 15-year-old, sent them out with 500 leaflets, dropped them all in 2 hours. I paid him £8 an hour. He wrote down the streets, did on a Sunday. He got 500 done in 2 hours. God, that's good, isn't it? With a few jobs I've done, Steam Defo helps. I had the machine for 2 weeks now. Are you talking specifically about graffiti jobs or just all jobs? When's that going to be on the next As I Like His Chat? Chris, Zach's gone. He's a goner. He's left. He's gone forever. He's moving on, mate. We've got different goals. You know what I mean? You know what I mean. Ant, welcome. How you doing? Who else is on the bottle? The steam did help, but could have done it cold with my machine. Would have just taken longer. Oh, okay. Hey up, Darren. Welcome. I'm about for an hour or so if you fancy company. Yeah, sure. Just jobs in. Tell you what, Darren would be a good person to talk to about my little soft washing setup, actually. Sorry, on what days do you do these? Caleb, Monday nights. 7:30 every Monday night. Joe, Greenacres, thank you so much for becoming a member, mate. You've got access to the Discord now, buddy. Yeah, Darren, there's a few bits I just wanted to have a little peek at. Give me like 15 minutes, I suppose, if you're about, mate, yeah. Have a peek at this. Oh, I'm logged into the wrong account. Have a peek at this. What's going on here? Don't just lift your skirt for like two seconds. Give us a proper... And you give us a little peek underneath like that. I want to see what's going on. Hello, girlie.
Want to hear a joke?
Do I want to hear a joke?
Yeah, sure.
Oh, thanks for the coffee. Yeah, go on. Tell me a joke.
Who has what does poo and we have on top of it?
What does poo and we have on top of it?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Stinky wee.
Stinky wee.
Poo in the middle when we went stinky wee.
Right. That's a cracking joke. You should think of some more. Make some more jokes. Maybe don't tell that one at school.
Why?
Because it's a bit dirty. Do you want to say?
I already told some. I already told some people like this Dotty.
You told Dotty?
Yeah.
No way. They're going to be.
He laughed.
Do you want to say hi to everyone?
Yeah.
Oh, what's that? Oh, orange juice.
Orange juice and lemonade. Are you going to bed now?
La 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 la.
Jet Aid says hi. Matt said he liked your joke. Yeah, have a little look at this one. What's going on here? It's got a rotating brush underneath. Okay. So it's still powered by high pressure water, but it's spinning some sort of brush underneath. Look at that. It literally only gives you a little peek under there.
I want to say hi.
This is the microphone. You can say hi there.
Hi.
Oh, careful! Not too loud.
Hi. Hi.
I don't see how that rotating so slowly is gonna.
Good night.
I love you. See you in the morning. Thanks for the coffee. Have a look at that. Little look at that mug. Look. I'm such a sellout, and a wet Westerman. However, look how slow it's rotating. And if you think, oh, that's going to do a better job than like a normal surface cleaner, it doesn't. There's still weeds there. Watch when it goes over these weeds. There's a weed there, look, it hasn't removed. And there's a weed there. It's gone over it multiple times now and it's still there. It's like, what's the point? All that gear, but no extra cleaning power by the looks of it. I mean, maybe the application in this video is wrong. Maybe. Oh, someone said I can see why it didn't catch on. Maybe this is great for tarmac. But I mean, 25-degree fan jets on your flat surface cleaner is probably going to do just as good a job. You know what I mean? Oh God, my neck. Oh. Found this old video. Bought this years ago off eBay. Cost me 65 quid. I think the idea is quite a good one. The water pressure turns the brush. It was not that effective. I mean, if you're using all the water pressure to turn the brush, I didn't see any jets going down onto the patio. You know what I mean? So you've lost all the cleaning power of the jets, and now you've just got a wet spinning brush. I don't really get it. Anyone else? He only used it once. He bought it on eBay. Yes. Barclay, welcome. I still want a Howden's flask. Oh, it's in the dishwasher. How's your CleanLink poll going? Have you used it in a video? I'm thinking about upgrading soon. I've done multiple like shorts and like stories and stuff on Facebook and Instagram using it. I use it for all my biocide stuff. I've used it for my scraping. It's great. I haven't used it for like high pressure. I don't think I've got. I might have the one that you can use for high pressure, like power pole style for cleaning roofs. Great, no issues with it whatsoever. The only thing I have had, the little rubber cap has fell off the end of it. So, but I think that happened to another one I had as well. So, just put a bit of glue on it and stick it back on. A wet Westerman, yeah. And then I spotted something else as well. We've seen these before, but still worth a little look, I think. How about that then? Ride along, is that a triple surface cleaner? I think it's a triple, isn't it? He's going pretty fast there as well. if you consider if you're pushing at that speed, there's a good chance you're gonna leave some swirly birds. You're gonna miss a couple of bits. So he must be putting quite high flow down there to be high flow or pressure. I'm not sure, but he's putting a lot of water down to be going at that sort of speed and cleaning it well. You know what I mean? What do you think is the easiest way to pour a new barrel of hypo? What do you think is the easiest way to pour a new barrel of hypo? Into what? What do you mean? Definitely on its side. If you've got like a 25 litre barrel of hypo, you don't want to be pouring it forward because it will glug and it'll start splashing up everywhere. Once you get past a certain point, maybe like when there's about a litre that's come out of it, if you tip it sideways instead of forwards, you just want to get it to come out of the end. You want like an air gap in the top. Ideally, you'd stab a hole. You'd stab another hole in the top of the barrel, so air can come out, so it's not creating like a vacuum inside, and then it would flow much more freely, like a watering can. But you can't really do that with a hypo barrel, else it won't be properly sealed, will it? You could scrub in the chemical with that machine. Floor scrubbers come with a tank, and you pull the trigger to release the chemicals. Oh, with the spinning firkin, yeah. The heart-shaped turbo surface cleaner looked the best. Yeah, I did see that one. It's like almost like a triangular one. Yeah, I forgot where I saw that. That was probably a Facebook one as well. Hello, Nine. Welcome. How you doing? Should we run some questions past Darren? See if he can help me with my conundrum. Am I doing it? I think I might be doing it. I'm not sure though. I don't want to see my camera. Bear with us, guys. Bear with. Just give me a sec. Hello?
Hello, is my microphone working?
It is. It's beautiful. How you doing?
Here I am in 4K glory.
Oh, is this 4K?
Internet connected.
Nice. How's your new cameras and stuff?
Oh man, I'm having so much fun learning. It's interesting, isn't it? I get pressurized into doing it, so I'm doing it and I'm learning as I go along.
Who's pressuring you?
People. Like people in the wide world.
You got to do it because you want to do it, though. You want to do it, didn't you?
I like cameoing on other people's where I get to turn up, be funny, call them names, walk away, and then they go away and edit the videos and manage it and look after it and all that. That's what I prefer doing.
What you're saying is it's a lot more work than you expected.
I'm saying it's something new that I've got to learn. I'm not sure I want to learn it.
You'll be fine. You're very techy. You're fine.
I'll have you know, I did my very own mini Matt Armstrong version the other day. I had a little intro music going on, the reveal, a panning shot. It's just a shame I only shot enough content for 2 minutes and 18 seconds.
I don't know what's happened to you, because before you'd be doing your live streams on Facebook. You'd have like 10 to 20 minutes of stuff, just walking around, chatting, just saying, look at this. Look, that's what we want to see. Look at this. Look at this I've just got in. Have a look at this machine. This is the so-and-so. Like, look at these new tools we got. Look at all the space we've made on the workbench. That's what I want to see.
But there's been nothing. Okay, so the BM's new.
The secret bit, the secret storage unit. We want to see it there.
You want to see next door?
Yeah. The 3D
maybe I'll do
printers. The 3D printers in action. Have a look at this ProGrip stuff. There's so much you could film.
The ProGrip stuff is so exciting. I love the ProGrip stuff. It was a little project that came along, and it was like, we've just got to do it. It's just brilliant. Have you seen I've been making 10th scale versions of my machines?
Where can I get a picture of that again? Because that was in the Discord, and that's so cool. One of the coolest things I've seen for a while.
I'll send you a picture. It was a byproduct. So you know how we've been struggling to fulfill orders, right? So we've always got a lead time going on because our stuff we make when people order it, it's exciting. It's always been. We've never been about mass producing. We've always been about making the bits for the people that want them. But suddenly we've kind of become a little bit of a mass producer. And we just get rid of that. It wasn't my photos. I can't send it you.
Oh, yeah, someone else put it in the Discord, didn't they? I'll have a look, see if I can find it. Did someone put it in the Discord? If there's anyone here that remembers where it was, I'd like to pull that image up.
But yeah, that was a pretty cool one, that one was.
Let me see if I can find it. I got it. Look at that. How cool is that? 3D printed. How have you done them tanks? Is that 3D printed as well? Because actually look like real tanks.
They do, yeah. So what happened was the plate's been snapped off the top of the other one in transit on the left-hand side, right? And you can see Maisie's bed in the background. That's where she kips now.
Yeah.
That's her sofa in the back, right, in the backdrop. So I because of the demand, I've had to try and find bigger companies to make some of our more or less bespoke stuff and on more run-of-the-mill frames. So these two frames here, really any fabrication company that does quality could make those for me. So our drawings for them, they're basically a handmade jig. We make it to the jig, and they're a bit of like a back of a fag packet type dimensional drawing. So I could tender to get this stuff made, I needed to draw it in a proper CAD piece of software,
and at that
so
point,
I could send it to these people.
At that point, you've got the OBJ file that you can use for the 3D printer, so you might as well.
Correct. So it doubled up.
Yeah.
So I drew it for the proper files. I ended up with it separate. I've just printed a GX390. Here we go. I don't know if the camera will pick it up with the blur.
Oh, that's sick. Put your hand. Put your hand in front of your face so it's not focusing on your face. That's sick.
Does that work?
Yeah. How have you done so many different colours? Have you had to do all the components separately?
No, I've got a multicolour printer.
Oh, bloody hell.
So what you haven't noticed is in the backdrop of one of those other pictures, all of our printers at ProGrip are all multicoloured enabled.
Oh, right.
So that's how... It's no secret that we've been working in partnership with Tom at CleanLink to generate their stuff. So you know the new stuff with the multicolours in it?
Yeah.
We've done that. So the reason why ProGrip wasn't multicoloured originally, or still isn't multicoloured and never will be, is because we're having it plain for us. So ours is the boring colour. The idea with ProGrip was to always make the products for everybody else. Yeah, you spotted one in the background.
I wondered how they did that. I wondered how you did that because I've never seen this before. I thought I don't think I've ever seen a multicolored 3D printer. I thought you had to do it separate components and just stick the components together afterwards. But this does it all in one print.
Yes,
that's brilliant.
They're pretty expensive, but they're really cool. That's how we ended up with.
I'm going to be throwing so many ideas at you after this.
Well, we are. We have some orange smelt with smelt written in black things on the blend for you.
No, you haven't.
We really have. Yeah, we were talking about the other week. Yeah.
Oh.
We've just been adjusting some of the products so that they're easier to rebrand and recolor without having to redraw them each time. Every aspect of it. But yeah, which is pretty cool.
I was going to ask you, I'd like to, I had like the first generation of Pro Grip stuff in my orange.
Yes.
Well, I snapped my water-fed pole one the other day. I think I was being a bit violent with it, and I snapped some of the vacuum pole holders as well. And so I'm looking at just replacing the whole set. But I don't really know what I'm ordering. And now that I've got 2 water-fed poles and a power pole, I could do with maybe video calling you or something, just so that you... But is it possible to get them in orange again, or is it cheaper just to do it in the plain colour?
No, we'll do yours in orange with your name down it.
Yeah.
Special Influencer Edition.
Because they're better now, aren't they, than they used to be? They're like more flexible.
So let's talk about Pro Grip for a minute, right? So when Daniel released the items, they were really cool and really neat, but there was only him really using them. And when he used them, he was reasonably careful in how he used them. So they were strong. They were really good. They clipped in tight. I mean, we were all impressed by them. All of us. We all saw them and was like, "Wow, these are amazing." And then he started to get a little bit bigger in it, and that's when he came and had the chat with me and went, "Look, can we do something together?" Do you know what I mean? So we rolled with the initial product originally, but what we found was the more it went out into the wider market, people used them in unintended ways.
Yeah.
So what we found is when they were down the van lengthways, people were lifting them out the back pole and snapping the front off because you meant to lift it in the middle.
Yeah.
To take it out or knock it out of each one because they're tight clips. So we made the flexi grips. We altered the design of the clip now. So I don't have one here to hand, but we've altered the design of the clip to make it stronger in different areas. So basically, it's had a full evolutionary change to become a full and proper product.
I think you're using a slightly different material now as well, because Daniel showed me at Sausage Fest, he showed me a newer grey one, and it was like 10 times stronger than the ones I bought originally.
We did the original material, but it's a different design. And we do a different one that we call a flexi grip.
Yeah, I've seen that one. It's like super bendy.
It's a slightly different shade. And it's designed to go on the front of the van. So you knock it out the back one and it slides off the front. What are you doing, Fidget? Yeah. Except that's based on the old design. It's cool, isn't it?
That's mad. Very cool. So that's the flexi one. How are your alpha cores doing? I didn't even know they were on the website until you told me. Did you do an announcement or anything, or did you just?
We just announced that we're going to release them in the new year, and then slid them onto the website quietly.
Yeah, I never noticed.
You know what? I've just sold the last of my Briggs and Stratton engine version. Which is a bit irritating, really, because I've just done an order from those, and the core engines, they're ticking along. Probably moved about 20 of them so far, 25.
So you can get the base version for £1,000 plus VAT.
Yeah,
and that's the 15 litre per minute, 275 bar. And they're all returned to tank, aren't they?
Yeah, we've not messed around. And so we've added the bits on it that we think you need.
Are these aren't the Q triggers, are they?
No, I can't hit.
I know.
The price
I was
point.
thinking that.
These, if you look, it's got the trigger on it, so it's fixed. So it's still an ST range gun.
Yeah.
So it's still a premium gun.
Yeah.
But it's a fixed gun.
I mean, the fact that it's returned to tank, it means it's going to last a hell of a lot longer than.
You know what? That to me is what I would consider to be the minimum you would need for a professional setup.
And then you've got the Briggs option with the you can do 19 litres per minute.
You're 19 with that one as well.
220
We've got
bar.
one.
That's interesting. 220 bar. I think 19 litres per minute is.
Well, top secret, that pump that's fitted to it is a 21,275 bar pump, but the engine hasn't got enough horsepower to run it at that. So we jet it. So we jet it to be 19 litres, 220 bar. It'll just about do 21,200.
Oh wow!
With an 07 nozzling. So it's about horsepower.
But you're being conservative with the 19,220 just to make sure people are getting what they're paying for, basically.
Not just knocking the water back a little bit as well.
Yeah.
So these are designed really for people that are sucking out of buckets, not the world's biggest barrels.
Yeah. Is that a 3D printed alpha thing on the back as well?
Yes.
That's cool.
It sticks out like a proper car badge. It's like, I'm not going to stick a sticker on it.
That's cool.
You know what I mean? There's no way I'm sticking a sticker on that bad boy. So we did that. That was a cool thing to add. We've called that our C2 frame.
It's very subtle.
Yeah, well, we probably shouldn't. We'll probably drop core eventually, and this will just be, we've got our A2 frame or our A4 frame, and then this is a C2 frame.
I like it. I think it's really good.
I like it too. It's one of those, I think we needed to do it. We needed to get it out there. I needed to tickle this end of the market.
Tickle?
Not because I want... Yeah, well, I don't want to sell... Right, I don't want to sell stacks and stacks and stacks of cores or Hyundais or all of them. What I'd like to do is pull those people in that were going to buy an Equip to Clean, a Kiam, or we're going to buy a Clark, or we're going to buy something else. And they've seen that for £1,000, so they pick the phone up and gone, tell me about your £1,000 machine, and I get to go...
Plus VAT.
What are you thinking of doing? Trap.
I said plus VAT.
Oh, plus VAT.
Yeah.
I thought you said trap.
No.
It's not trap. And it's like, so tell me what you're doing and what you're planning on cleaning, and then I can educate them fully on their decision before they go and spaff the money on something that's... It's word of the day at work, isn't it? Spaff.
Do you offer people any kind of buffer tank? I know you do upright, like van mount buffer tanks, but do you do a wheelie bin one or like a barrel or anything?
I don't.
I think you should.
But I
think if you're going to offer that machine, which is designed to be taken out of the van, I think it'd be nice to have, even if it's just like a little wheelie bin, because you can get the tiny ones as well, can't you?
Yeah, I should look at stocking stuff like that. Again, I've done it as an educational thing, not as a... I didn't really want to be in at that end of the market, but I felt that there was a lot of people that were getting misled, that were buying stuff before they found your feed or before they found me or one of the proper suppliers, do you know what I mean? And they were buying a Clark or falling into a business package trap, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I've done it so I can stand a chance of capturing those people to have a proper chat with them first.
Have they been successful so far? Have you done enough?
The upsell of that. The upsell of that has been pretty mega, where people have come in and made real informed decisions. So I had a guy come in today that was going to buy a core today, and he's gone away to save a little bit more money, and he's going to have the next one up. It isn't for him. He's going to come back at a later date.
I mean, and the fact that they can come to you and have a play and like use them out the front and you can show them clear differences and the reason why this next one's more expensive. It's like hands-on stuff, isn't it?
Yeah, it's been really good.
A wheelie little bin. I like that. That's funny.
A wheelie little bin.
Have you got the chat in front of you?
I have got the chat. I've just been rolling up. Am I around after lunch? Yes, I'm after lunch tomorrow. I'm not in the morning tomorrow. I'm going for a medical procedure in the morning. I'm going to collect the fat jab.
What's it called again?
Monjano.
Yeah, it's the UK version of...
Yeah.
You got to be careful with that, because from what I've heard about it, it doesn't just target fat. It targets things like bone density and cartilage, and so although it might make you lose weight, you're potentially losing it from places that you don't want to lose it. So you still got to like be active and keep fit. And
I'm going to give it 3 months.
Yeah,
Badminton's killing my knees.
you got to keep the muscle. You got to
Jakey
exercise.
boy, I'm 161 kilograms. 161 kilograms.
What's that in
And
stone?
I've been enough, right? And I've been doing 2 hours of badminton on a Friday, plus other bits of exercise, plus being on my feet all day at work, non-stop. But yeah, anyway, I'm going for that in the morning, and then I am around in the afternoon. Yes.
Ozempic is the one I was thinking about. That's the American version of it. Ozempic.
I think I just saw somebody saying that they're from Stoke. Where are we?
If anyone's got any, this is a fantastic opportunity for anyone who's in the chat that's got like a technical question, something about their machine or their pump or flow rates or maintenance servicing. Like Darren's the guy for this sort of stuff. So if you've got any of those burning questions, it's a good time to ask. I'm sure Darren don't mind answering questions.
Yeah, Stoke exterior cleaning. Given that we're just in next door to Stoke, take a drive down to Rutland Pumps. They are awesome. They're about 2.5 hours away from Stoke, and go and have a chat with Ben and the gang down there, and they'll set you straight.
Darren, I've got some questions for you.
I'm just giggling at one of the ones in the chat. My advice would be actually pop into your local dealer and have a chat first. Do you know what I mean? Right, go on then, ask me, what's that? Give it time, take a tablet. It's better than safer than the injection. I've started it all off then. Do you know what I mean? I've started the chat about the fat jabs, Jake. I've set it off.
So, right. I've been looking at those Everflow, is it Everflow 3000 pumps?
Show me.
Right, I'm just going to pull it up. It's on a competitor's website though, am I allowed?
I'm not asked.
You sure?
I've got more work than I can throw a poo-covered stick at, Jake.
A poo-covered stick? Oh, that's the wrong one.
That's a nice website. Who made that one?
Right. So, there's a pump. For example, this one. So this is basically everything I'm looking at. Is this? It's got like an 11 litre per minute 12 volt pump, and it says it's, oh, the description's not the same, but it says it's like 12 volt 4 amp or something. And so what I'd like to do is get one of these tanks direct. I want to get a little upright tank, and you know 12 volt stuff, didn't you?
Yeah.
So if
first, I wouldn't be buying. I would, if you go to Amazon and type in C-Flow, you get a cheaper pump. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And then if you type in pump controller on Amazon, you'll get a pump controller for your own home build. Don't get buying a kit. You get a pump and a pump controller for about 70 quid. And then add your other bits on afterwards.
That's handy to know. Thank you. So say, for example, I want one of these tanks. It's like a 32 litre tank. I'm going to put it on like a little pump truck trolley sort of thing, like a little sack truck. Can I run one of these pumps from like a car battery? Like if I wanted it to last ages, just any 12 volt car battery, would that work? Or do I need a specific little dinky battery like the one that's in my gardener backpack?
No, car battery. Bigger the battery, the better.
Right, okay. And all I need is a fuse for like 12 volts? Or not 12 volts. Yeah. No, 4 amps. Anything like maybe 5 amps to stop the
If I shared my screen, would it show? I've just spotted myself on your feed. I look like I've got a right grumpy face on while I'm.
No.
So My camera is now over here. You've got a different view of my room. That's my TV in my room. Right, and this is just some shit that's on a new shelf behind me.
Okay.
So when I squint to look this way, it's because there's lights here.
Yeah.
Because I'd be getting organised.
Don't worry about
I often
it. Don't worry about it.
when I'm forwards. So, Tom, I'm just going to answer this question. Tom, read your WhatsApp. I'm going to draw a picture tonight. I've seen it. I'll message you back in a bit. Right. If I share my screen, I can show you some quick fire stuff. Let me get the right pages up first so you don't see yourself.
What I'm concerned about is the cycles. If it's going to be constantly drained and then charged up again, don't I need one that's got loads of cycles, like a leisure battery or something?
No, don't worry about that.
Really?
I would buy a bigger battery for your jet wash.
I've got a big van battery on my jet wash.
I would connect it to your jet wash.
So it stays in the van.
Where are you going to take the pump with you?
I was going to just put it on a trolley, and I could keep it in the van. I'd like the versatility of taking it out. But another question: does my pressure washer recharge that battery? It does, doesn't it?
Yes. Yeah.
And on the GX390 one, that recharges that one as well, doesn't it? No.
No.
So eventually,
is it
electric start, yeah.
Yeah, but it's got a very baby alternator. The Honda has. That's why we fit the Briggs. So the Hondas have got a 1 amp alternator. The Briggs have got a 20. So it's a very slow trickle charge on the Honda, whereas the Briggs has actually got more of a battery charger.
Okay, but will the Honda run out eventually and I'll need to take the battery out and recharge it?
No, it shouldn't do.
So it does kind of recharge itself?
Unless you stop, start.
No, it runs for hours at a time.
All right. Let's see if we can make this work.
Car batteries are acid quick jolt for starting. When's the Expo, please? I think it's the 28th of March. 28th and 29th, maybe.
Does that work, Jakey boy?
Yes. Who's that sexy lady on the left?
Don't know. She's got nice red hair, hasn't she?
Need a little advice, actually. 18 or 20 inch surface cleaner for GX390, 21 litres per minute. Darren recommends an inch for every litres per minute, so you could get away with a 20 inch. I'd say now, after owning a 20 inch, the smaller the better.
Yeah,
it's not all about size.
In this instance, it's not. When it comes to your surface cleaner, it's the opposite to what you normally go with in life. So this range of pump, Jake, these C-flows.
Yep.
I have great success with these.
But are these chemical pumps?
Not necessarily chemical.
It's got to be specifically. I want to be putting. I forgot to say. I want to be putting biocide, hypo, TFR, synergy, all that stuff for it. So it's got to be corrosive, chemical style.
Well, I wouldn't quite do it the way that you. Let me stop my share for a second then, because it's not going to. We'll go back to where we were because we need to get on target. Is that stopping now? Share your screen.
G-Ride, thank you so much for becoming a member. I forgot to... I did see it, but then I forgot to go back to it. I'm sorry. Thanks for becoming a member.
Did that go away again?
Yeah.
Right. Okay, so... I think that any pump that runs potentially nasty chemicals through it is only ever always going to have a short working life relative to a pump that has fresh water running through it.
I mean, the Everflow ones have got Viton seals and stuff, so they are like specifically designed for chemicals.
Yeah, but still, you know the point I'm getting at, right?
Yeah.
And I think that if you was to do a little trolley, and the mistake that most people make is they use, I'm going to be making this exact same thing. This is the way I'm going to tackle this problem.
Okay.
Okay. So I get asked the same question. I want a softwash trolley. I want to be able to take my chemical and I want to put hypo or biocide or something down. The XJet isn't quite the right thing. It's for many reasons, but it's not working for whatever reason in this instance. And
because I made this, look. I made this little box, and I've got my flow controller on the front. I've got my voltage meter, or my battery capacity thing. Do you know, do these actually tell you the correct battery capacity? How does it know?
Based on voltage.
Is it?
It guesses based on voltage.
Right. I've got my charger in the side. I've got my chemical pump and my battery in there.
Yeah, that's a good way of going at it.
But it means you've got to take this round with you and then drop the hose into a barrel, and you've got like too much going on, basically. Too many separate items.
I was thinking, imagine a little caddy that you put a 20-litre drum in.
Yeah.
It's got wheels on the back of it with a tall handle.
Yeah.
And on the handle was either your dosatron or chemical injection unit.
I don't want a dosatron.
No, there's ways of doing it.
I want a pump.
Bear with. There's ways of doing it, right? So, back at your van, so you go all the way back to your van, and you fit on your van one of those bigger pumps that I just showed you.
Yeah.
On a hose reel on your van, so you're pumping out of the tank on your van. So you're pumping your fresh water off your van, so you're not relying on the customer's water supply. You've got your own quantity of water coming down that you know is the right amount to do what you want to do, that you can control.
Okay.
That comes to your little caddy, and then you use that to rinse down.
That's providing you've got water in your tank.
Providing you've got water in your tank.
Yeah.
So it's the same principle as a chemical trolley. Definitely the same principle as a chemical trolley. Do you know what I mean?
It's sort of attached to the van then, though. I'd like to be able to pull it out the van and go.
It doesn't have to be. You could connect to then just a normal water supply anywhere. So, are you thinking of just pumping what's in the drum?
Yeah, I want to pre-mix. I don't want to dose my chemicals. I want to pre-mix the chemicals in the barrel or in the tank.
Oh, so you're just doing a backpack on wheels.
Exactly. But
Same principle.
Higher flow.
Yeah, just fit a bigger chemical pump.
Bigger chemical pump and a bigger battery. It's going to last longer.
Bigger pipes.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're on the right path.
So I can use any 12-volt battery as long as it's got enough amperage to make the chemical pump work. You're reading the chat, aren't you? Or are you looking at yourself?
I'm slightly distracted reading the chat. It's quite funny.
All right.
One of these little chuckles. No, I think you're on the right path. I think that what you want to do is on the right path. So don't worry about amperage of batteries. You're overthinking it. Put just a big 100 amp hour battery in the bottom of a trolley with your little tank above it. I wouldn't go more than 20 litres because of weight.
Mm-hmm.
So by the time you've got a 20-litre tank and a battery with a controller, you're probably going to be 45 kilos. And that's going to be more than enough if you're not going to put wheels on it.
Yeah, I am going to put wheels on it. Yeah.
Cool little project.
Yeah, it's. I'll probably just make a video on it and just say like, "This is how I did it," sort of thing. Because I think it's needed, but I don't want to pay the £600 plus VAT that X-Line are asking for theirs. Like this one's £600, and it's cool and it's fancy, but there's lots of things on here that I would change. I don't need the Bluetooth stuff. I don't need a digital controller. I want a clear tank. Like there's so much that I'd do differently, and I want people to be able to make it at home. So yeah, I'll probably just do a video and just play around with some bits, I suppose.
The hardest bit will be the trolley.
Getting a trolley that works.
The framework for the trolley will be the hardest bit.
Because you need the battery on the bottom, ideally, along with the pump, and then you need a step for the tank to sit on above it. And they do make them, but then the trolley's like £200. And I don't want to spend £200 on just a trolley. Basically the Pure Freedom one, look at that. That's the one, isn't it? That's it. It's the get rid of that. Yeah, that's it. That's exactly what I want to make, but with a permanent tank, not just a cheap barrel. Yeah.
£765.
It's 918 quid including VAT. I just think that's excessive. I mean, maybe the trolley's really good, and it's custom.
Zoom in a little bit. Let's see some stuff.
It's custom made and stuff. It's great, but like,
What have they got? They got a sliding handle at the back.
Yeah, sliding handle.
Sliding handle. What else does it come with for you?
It's such a lot of money. It's
control.
I think that's with chemical resistant pump option. Yeah.
Oh, click the option. Now put some money on it, Jake. Go on, mate, do
I
it.
don't know if it did. I clicked it. I can't tell. So the pump in this one is 100 psi chemical resistant Viton seal pump. Handles poles up to 80 foot. It doesn't say about 100 flow rate settings, battery voltage readout. It doesn't say about the flow. I'm not too bothered about PSI. I want to know how much flow it puts out.
They're about 4 or 5 litres a minute. Those machines are.
It doesn't say which pump it's got.
They're all fairly similar. Those little pumps are, aren't they?
It looks like quite a chunky one, but yeah, I think that's it's obviously a custom piece of kit, but I think that's
frame.
It's overcomplicating it.
Mount is chemical injector.
Yeah, maybe we do a collab on it. An orange one though. It'd have to be orange. I'm not letting you paint it green.
I only paint good stuff green.
Oh, whoa.
Stay in. Go Rutlands, I'll do your silver one.
They're I've seen their stainless trolleys, and they're a lot of money as well. But I know it's all like custom made kit.
Do you know what? Right,
I just think I can find a generic trolley.
I think I've met some fabricators today. I met several fabricators.
238 quid plus VAT for a trolley. I mean, I'm sure it's worth it. It just seems like a hell of a lot of money. It's just excessive for what I need. Oh, they've got all the...
Hold on. Let's just put... what's your day rate?
No, we don't talk about what I'm earning. Just because something's expensive.
No. I'm okay. The average day rate that people want to earn is what, 500 quid a day now? 400 quid a day per man?
I'm not saying that trolley's not worth it for the amount of work and effort and materials that's been put into it.
Saying how long do you think it takes to make that trolley? Factor that in, plus the cost of the parts, plus then the preparation offering the warranty.
That's what I'm saying. I'm not saying it's not worth it. All I'm saying is that is overkill for what I need. I just need a cheap little trolley.
I'm not trying to drag you down a path where you're in trouble or something. That wasn't a trick.
No, I know. But I'm looking at it from a different way you're looking at it, I think. You're looking at it from a supplier's perspective. I'm looking at it from I just need something cheap and shit that's going to work.
No, I've done the same. I looked at a lot of stuff and gone, how much? Why is that so much? That's like, and then I've had to sit back and go, well, actually, for a bloke working, he needs to probably do 500 quid a day just to cover his wage, let alone any other overheads that are going on. So suddenly, if something takes half a day, well, it's 250, 350 quid for half a day, plus the parts. That frame's going to take more than half a day to make, for example, and the frame's 220 quid. It seems like it's a lot of money, but when you boil it backwards, I just think everything now costs more money than it used to cost. And I think it's taking time for us all to adjust when we look at stuff. So I exactly the same as you, looked at not necessarily that frame, but I've looked at stuff like that and gone, oh, that's mega. And then I've had to start breaking it down to sort of not justify their cost, but to get myself back in the game that actually it's not that expensive. You know, I've got to start being realistic about pricings and all that kind of stuff.
And also materials. Like if you look at the cost of wood over the last 5 years, it's absolutely out of its mind. Like 300% more than what it cost 3 years ago. So I get it. You could make something yourself, but you'll end up buying the one that the company has made. Why? Why do you think that, Mills? If I make something that I'm really pleased with, you think it'll never be good enough, just because I've made it myself? Sack truck on Screwfix in orange. I saw that. B&Q have got one as well. I'm leaning towards the B&Q one. Mix your chemicals in a pint glass and throw it on. Thank me later. Okay.
I still don't know what's wrong with using a watering can with a sprinkle end for hypo.
It is less controlled. I know what you're saying, and you can, but it's less controlled. And it's just the convenience of it's a small can, and you just want to, if on a larger area, you just want to keep going without stopping every 5 minutes to mix more chemicals.
There's some people in the chat that have been into my shop this morning.
Oh, really?
One of the twins that came in this morning.
Paul says pump mounted to the van, powered by a battery. Put a hose from the pump into a barrel of chemical, other end of the pump to a hose reel with 100 meters, 6 or 8 mil hose. Done. Easy to swap the chemical and clean out. True, but can you push these style pumps through 100 meters of hose?
If it's big enough and the hose is big enough, yeah.
Because doesn't it get to a certain point? I remember with my gardener backpack, it was on the ground and I was up on a roof, and Jakey turned it on, and it just wouldn't reach, because I had to get it started. I had to get it going on the ground because it couldn't push the air out of the hose. So I think there is something.
There is a lift limit and stuff with them.
There's a lift limit.
I forget. I'm really tired, mate. I forget the name of the term, but there's a term for when you're pushing stuff up height. Let's have a look. I'm looking back up the chat, see if there's anything exciting.
It'll be good for a bit, but it won't be as good as what the research and development from the company who's put it together where it needs to be. Put it to get it where it needs to be. I understand what you're saying, but you can always iterate. Just because you've made like this. I made this as just like a little research project to see if I could do it. And I did it, and it works. It's just that it's not ergonomic. It's clunky and clumsy, and there's lots of things I've changed about it. And now that I've done that, I can use the components from that one and just make a slightly better design and just keep improving on it. I understand what you're saying, but I think it's quite a simple project. It's all in the stuff you buy. Just making sure you get the right stuff, I suppose.
I'd give it a go anyway.
Sorry?
I'd give it a go.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I'll I just need to stop thinking about stuff and just do it.
Just do it. Just do it. Buy a pump. Buy one a size bigger than you think you need, because you can always turn a bigger one down.
Yeah.
Remember that. Same principle with your jet wash, now you know. So if you think you need one that's 10 litres a minute, buy a 15 example, and you can always turn it down and just give it a stab.
Because that's the one that you get with similar to the one you get with a gardener backpack. It's a 3.8 litre per minute pump. This is from DA Components. And so this would work just fine. Hook that up to a car battery. Put a little speed controller on it, and away you go. How would I? I suppose I'd have to charge it with a car battery, like trickle charger, then.
Yeah, well, I was thinking if you use the one that was on your jet wash, I didn't realise you wanted a separate trolley originally, but your jet wash would have charged it back up again.
You are onto something there, and I think that's what a lot of people would lean towards. I just like having the versatility, I think, of just filling up the thing and just going and not having hoses and stuff dragging everywhere. I just want something.
That's backpacks, though, isn't it?
Yeah. My trusty.
I think you're perhaps looking at it the wrong way round. I think your trusty backpacks for those long, far away jobs that you can't get to, and this is for those more every day, straight out the back of the van, where you're at jobs.
Yeah, I mean the backpack's died now, which is the reason I'm looking at doing this pretty soon. If you want to make one, go for it. It's a good process. I've ended up just seeing the worth in buying the thing that's been tested and designed and refined. I understand. Gel batteries. What do you mean, Rex?
It's just a type of battery. So you've got like an acid battery, you've got a gel battery, you've got lithium batteries. It's just a different battery chemistry.
Oh, right. I've been sent an image. I don't know where though. Maybe on Instagram.
Bolt your backpack onto your wonky backwards trolley.
I'm getting so much jip about my trolley, and I think it's a good idea.
Which trolley is that?
I've designed a custom trolley.
I've got to see this. Where's this? Why haven't I seen it before?
I don't think I want to show you.
Trolley. Let's do it. Rate my trolley. Let's come on. Don't be embarrassed.
I also don't want to give away the full.
Your trolley out. Yeah, your trolley out. Yeah, your trolley out for the lads. Come on.
I'm going to get ripped in the chat now.
Hopefully.
So, have a little peek at this. Now, it's exactly what we've just looked at, but the design, the footprint of it is kind of small because of the pivot point and the way the bars are shaped. It comes back over the tank, and so it takes up less of a footprint inside the van. Are you laughing? Are you giggling? No, sorry, you're just breathing heavily. I thought you were going. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Now, why have you turned it off? I was just getting into that then.
Sorry. And now, right, if you want to swap from your lance or from your water-fed pole and just actually push it along, you could have some little fan jets in the bottom. If this idea gets copied, just know that I made it first, all right? Anyone? The battery can either go in the bottom here or it can go in this controller box at the top here. How about it? I think the tank could be slightly bigger.
It's interesting having the wheels where you've got the wheels.
Well, if you look at a sack truck, the design, I mean, no, it doesn't, does it? I think I've created a... See, I was thinking about sack trucks like this, where the footprint is kind of big. Whereas if you have, instead of having the tank on the front, the tank could go above the wheels.
That's what you need to put it in there. First row, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 across first row. That's what you want.
A truck.
Yeah, just put it in a truck. Wheel it off your van. Put it in a truck.
That would
50 litre water.
Nah, that takes up so much room in the van.
Yeah, but you've still got the big van now, haven't you?
Nah, the idea is that it's small. That's the whole idea. It's tight. It's a tight little package. That's what they used to call me in school.
It's so laid back it might fall over. No.
I mean,
I'm not so sure about that point.
This one from Screwfix is nice. However, I don't like... Oh, you can take that little thing. Oh, you can take that off, and then I could reuse that somewhere else on the trolley and bolt it somewhere else to make... That could be a contender if I just wanted to make one. But I think it's quite big.
Yeah, well, you'd put the battery over the axle at the back.
Yeah. On
that
little step.
On that step, you'd build your battery there, and you put the chemical on the front. And that would help with your pivot weight as well.
Yeah. So going back to my design, can I get some honest feedback from someone that isn't in the chat that just wants to rip the piss out of me?
I think it's a good idea.
What do you think of these little fan jets at the bottom that you can plug it into and just push it along?
Is that what they are? thought they were rubbers.
No, they're little.
I thought they were
You push it along the driveway, and you've got 3 like 25-degree fan jets, and you're just applying biocide to ground surfaces like it's nobody's business.
I think that's going to take some work to get the balance point right because of where the wheels are. I think the frame down the front, unless it's aluminium, is going to be quite heavy. So I think it's going to be quite difficult for it to be at that angle comfortably. That's my first thought. But other than that, that's a neat idea, having the jets idea across the bottom.
Thank you.
Patent it quickly.
Yeah. Don't encourage him, Darren.
I haven't been on an age to do any encouraging anyway. I've not been about to do any encouraging ever. I've been busy.
People were asking you if we'd fallen out.
Yeah, straight up somebody came in the shop. Why are we on Jake's? You falling out with him? I said, no. I said, you know what Jake's like.
Is there any way of charging the backpack via the van? For example, a split relay battery?
Of course there is.
There's an idea. Have you had a look at this?
Just got to
Sorry, go on.
plug it in, haven't you? You want it so it had a quick plug so you can plug it back in. With Doug's, slightly different but slightly the same. So Doug from jetwashcleaning.co.uk, I hate saying that in his name. I hate having a business name that's a web address. He's got a Bowser, and on his Bowser he's got a pump that empties the Bowser into his main machine, and we made him a connector on jump leads, but it's like fast connects, so he can connect his Bowser to his main machine that's on his van, so it charges the battery on the Bowser while they're using it.
That's a nice idea. I think I'm gonna order some bits tomorrow on my day off.
I think Lindsay Jackson's got a point here, Jake. If you're going to start this project, you need to learn how to weld.
I would love to learn how to weld.
You're coming up for some lessons when you're not busy.
Well, I've done arc welding in the past.
Oh, you'll find MIG easy.
I've never tried MIG. I'd love to give it a real good go because I was quite good at arc welding, but that's only really good for like thick metal. Is there like a? You can't just get a cheap welder, can you? You need to get a proper one, really.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Because I also want to weld up my own pressure washer frame so that I can stack Jakey's next to mine and have everything mounted.
Well, you're not the only person to ask me about that when you dropped me that message the other day. I am making one. The moment Tom's trailer mount leaves, that should have left by now. The moment Tom's trailer mount leaves, that's the next project I'm starting on. So I take on one customer at a time and around everything else that we do. And it's exactly the same thing. It's 2 engines on top of each other. This is 2 engines, one on top of each other, both running off the same fuel tank.
That's a good idea.
Yeah, so they're not having to mess with just one large fuel tank. This is having 2 boilers, one on each, but they want the boilers buried, so they want room in the van. They don't want one big, ginormous thing. They want the components in they want the jet washes to be one component that's bolted down, the boiler's another component together bolted down.
It's like modular.
Yeah, so imagine your big van, right? They want the jet washes like across the bulkhead, for example. They then want the boilers across the back wall. They then want the water tanks towards the axle. And then they want to use the back of the big van to load the scaff in. And they want the front area in front of where the kit is just to put their day-to-day bits in.
Yeah.
The exhausts are going to run through the floor of the van. So that it's quieter in operation. Obviously, they'll have to have the doors open for the boilers when the boilers are on, but the 2 petrol engines are going down through the van floor.
And do you do that the same way you did my exhaust with that flexi?
Yeah, I'd use a bit of flexi to elbow out, use a flexi, then I'd hard fasten through the floor. Do you know what I mean?
And you just drill a hole in the floor. Do you need to like heat proof around it or anything, or you just go straight through?
All by the time it's there, just put a hole in the floor. It'll be
Yeah.
fine. Be fine. Set it up, make it so much quieter. Get that pipe a little bit longer. Probably turn it away from, like, turn it so it goes down the back of the van, so it doesn't even travel, and so it's pointed towards the floor. It'll be loads quiet. If you imagine that your jet wash and all of the others out there, you'd start them up and they blow all the noise at your face.
Yeah.
Imagine if that was pointing at the floor.
Yeah.
That would just be loads quieter.
Or even pointing the opposite way, out the other end of the van.
Out the other end of the van, yeah.
Yeah.
So I've been asked to do that. So once I've done the frame once, I'll have the pattern to do a second one to put both engines in. So that aspect of it will be easy peasy lemon squeezy.
So you're taking on one project at a time, as well as just doing the pre-built stuff. You're still selling pre-builts.
Yeah, pre-built all the time. So we've got stock of anything on wheels. We've got stock of at the moment. So the cores we've got on stock, as you see in the chat, I'll say 'cause I've seen them today. So I've got cores on stock of both of them, built, ready to go. Walk in, take them away. I think I've just run out of A2s, but they're due back in Monday, Tuesday. Do you know what I mean? So it's like constantly evolving.
Yeah.
The frames have been, the PBs and the BMs have been on a bit of a slow because we had a bulk order of our, big van machines like Partridge has got, the big hot water one.
Yeah.
I've had a bulk order of them. So we've got like, I've got 10 of them on my board already to get done. And they take around 2 weeks each to make. Right, so that's already the whole year nearly supply of those big machines.
Yeah.
Right, took up alongside everything else that we do.
What are you doing for the expo this year?
I've turned up, I'm going to give out beer again, I think.
Are you taking anything with you, or is it going to
Yes. So, no, I'm going to take machines. So, here's the scoop with the expo.
The scoop?
The scoop on the
Exclusive
expo.
scoop?
Exclusive scoop, no discounts. So, dead simple. Any of the big machines and the big equipment is not going to be discounted because we've not done our price increase this year. So it'll stay the same. They'll all be the same price, but there will be some there. I will be doing, and the Smouts group will get first refusal on the prices. So they'll get to see the price list first that we'll be doing at the expo. So I'll be doing all the popular stuff.
Turbo nozzles.
Cheaper than normal. Yeah,
triggers,
cheaper than normal.
Lances.
And VAT free.
Is that legal? Oh, you just swallow the VAT.
I swallow the VAT. It's an extra 16.6% discount, isn't it? Right, so I swallow the VAT. So yeah, VAT free is just a term. So we do it cheaper and we do it VAT free. We'll be doing that. I will have a selection of machines to buy on the day off the stand that you can take away with you. I will also have a van mounted machine that's got 3 hose reels, one including softwash. That's a unique machine to sell on the stand that will be there as an exclusive. And I will have something that never turns up. I've got a second-hand Alpha Compact that's been part-exed. It's one of the big machines, the same as Sid's. So I'll be taking that to the expo. That'll be prepared and ready for the expo to sell.
I think it's a good idea to take machines to sell, because last year you ended up having to take a pump off this machine and stick it on that engine. And
oh, that's only because the guy wanted something different than what was there.
Oh, okay.
He 100% wanted to buy the machine off the stand, but he didn't want the Briggs and Stratton it was attached to. He wanted a Honda Electric start.
Right.
So we had to go take a Honda Electric, and I had to go take the Honda Electric start off from somewhere else and put it on that. So there is that with the show. I mean, I wasn't going to go. We had chatted about it at Pure Seal, didn't we?
Mm-hmm.
And you know what? It came back round and the opportunity turned up, and I thought, you know what? Be a good couple of days out. Might as well go see what's about. I see that a lot of the other normal suppliers, the other suppliers have decided to take a stand this year. So it'll be interesting to see what they bring along.
Take a stand?
Yeah, they've took the option of having a stand.
Why wouldn't they?
That's what I'm saying. No, they haven't done in the past. So these are companies that haven't in the past that have decided to this year.
Oh, I see. I see what you're saying. CleanLink are going to be there as well, aren't they? Are they near you, or is Tom near you, or is he?
Tom's about 40 minutes from us.
No, I'm talking about at the expo. Is he next to you at the
Oh,
expo?
no idea. I haven't looked. I've seen you've got Ollie at the expo. Not done it before.
PWSAS.
Yep. And you've got Savvy, who's never done it before. Then you've got Brian Nixon. I've not seen them at the stand before.
H2O Restorations are going to be doing their franchise packages as well.
Yeah. So there's definitely been a shifting companies' attention to this sector, which is only a good thing because it'll just drive innovation. So just like we drove innovation when I turned up, hopefully the others will bring their own innovation along and will help drive the sector forwards.
Yeah. I need to go with a shopping list really, because I think I probably missed an opportunity to get some good deals last year. Daz, what turbo nozzle do I require for my 21 Briggs machine? 21 litre Briggs machine.
07 for yours, 065 for everybody else.
Do you know what pump it is?
Yeah, I know what pump that one is. So it's not a second-hand PB, it's a second-hand compact. And it's going to be around the £9,000 mark. But it's being fully gone through, so new hoses, it's 2 years old. And the company that had it have done so well with it, they were faced with a big tax bill, so they've ordered a new machine and a new van.
Lovely. Are you taking bits and bobs? Like fittings,
the trailer before.
Fittings and bits and bobs, yeah.
We take the shop. We start filling the trailer up this next week.
Are you taking Vario adjusters?
Of course.
Can I use a Vario with my K1 unloader? K1? K3? What is it?
It's a K1. So the deal with that is, because of how the Vario restricts the flow, you get intermittent results depending on various things like how long your hose is, how restrictive your pipes are. Some machines, they work and they do okay. Other machines, you put them on in different circumstances, and the K series won't go into its second stage.
Okay.
What makes you want to run a Vario?
Convenience.
For when you're doing which job?
Pressure washing.
Do you want to run a Vario all the time, so you just turn it down?
Just on the trigger.
Like when you
just on the trigger. So if we're quite often we're turboing, we'll go around the edges at like 130 to 150 bar, just have a bit more control around the edges. Then we'll turn it up to do the middle, and then we might want to turn it down to do a rinse.
Okay. So the lazy way to do that would be to attach your turbo. The way to do that, if the Vario didn't work on your machine, would be to attach your turbo to a twin lance. And when you get to the areas where you want a little bit less pressure, you open up the top and it bleeds off a little bit of water, lowering the pressure.
Yeah, but you're using the same amount of water. You're just splitting it off. Yeah, not sure about that. Because sometimes we'd want to use it to like save water as well. Turn down the pressure to save water.
Is anybody going to be releasing pressure washers with an electric clutch?
What's the benefit of an electric clutch?
Where's the electric clutch between the pump and the gearbox?
I didn't know there was a clutch. Why would you need a clutch on a static gearbox?
John Fitzpatrick I asked the guy at the shop to install a pressure gauge on my pressure washer. Don't, because it restricts the flow. Is that true? I think you've been sold a dummy.
Pressure washer, the pressure gauge doesn't restrict the flow.
No, not at all.
And also, you don't have to put it in line on the hose. You can put it on the pump as well, so it wouldn't really make a difference.
Yeah. I mean, I do have something in development to do what you want to do that could be retrofitted to your machine, which would be something remote control around your neck. So a bit like, hello. So a bit like the idea of remote start-stop. Also, remote revs on your machine, so you can turn your machine up and down from where you are. I've just about written the program for that. Daniel's designed the hardware to hold the components in, and I'll probably be testing that over the next couple of months to be released in the summer.
That'd be on a Briggs machine?
Any. Any machine. Honda, Briggs, Kiams, any. Although it'll be about as expensive as a Kiam.
Darren, when's the video of the nightmare customer coming out?
Oh, I've been thinking about that. The problem with that video is I need to do that video talking to the webcam. And I'm not very good at talking to the webcam on my own. So, you know, you sit and do your little voiceovers.
Yeah.
So I've seen the Moshaw advert, and it's like, here, Jake, it's like, yeah, I'm all right, kid. I've got my Moshaw, and I like go around and I measure things, right? And you go, you know what I mean? And
well, why don't you? I'll tell you what.
I can't do that.
Tell me now, and we'll record it, and then I'll just send you the file, and you can just upload it. How about that?
No, I'm whining about that bit. That was funny. I did laugh when your voice popped up on another advert. That made me chuckle.
Which
That's
advert?
some TikTok marketing going on. Moshaw running an advert as Moshaw.
Moshaw, not Moshaw.
Yeah, Moshaw. Okay, well, measure, isn't it? It's a posh word to say measure. You must have paid some clout for that. Jesus.
They've just renewed the contract. Actually, I'm doing another 10 months.
That's good. Yeah. Do you have to do like a little sponsored by thing on the bottom of your stuff?
No, it's only select videos. It's only we're doing a video every 2 months, and it's just shorts now. So it's not going to be YouTube integrations. It's just going to be TikTok, YouTube Shorts, Facebook, and Instagram.
We'll get onto that in a minute, because at the moment, I'm focusing on 3 minute and under videos to try and hold the retention rate, just to get people interested in my story without them switching off before I get to where I'm going. But we'll touch on that one after we've done a few more of these.
You just said it because you didn't have the content. You just said it's because you ran out of stuff to talk about.
You're joking. Go for it. I'm nervous. I'm trying to... Because I'm not very good, I don't want to skip around topics. I'd like to talk about this, but I don't think that this is an appropriate moment to do it. Right. Nightmare customer. I'll give you all an overview. I had a customer who came in, brought the kit, paid for it, left. Brilliant.
Is this the one that was happy and then wasn't happy? This was a while ago.
Then decided he wanted to do a chargeback.
Yeah.
So
you told us
it
about
went to
this
the.
one.
So it went to the company. I haven't told you the full resolve. So it went to the the card company, and basically, they haven't actually got any form of mediation at the card companies. It sits between two companies that are going, he says this, she said that, and they do this a couple of 3 times, and they go, right, if you want to go to mediation, it's 500 quid. I'm like, well, where do I get me 500 quid back? Do you know what I mean? And they're like, you don't. It just costs 500 quid to go to the next level. So I'm like, well, he owes me 500 quid. I've got to pay 500 quid to get my 500 quid back. It's a bit pointless, isn't it? So they went, yes. I was like, oh, that's rubbish. So I did the paperwork for small claims court. So, and I don't know what the etiquette is of companies taking somebody who's done a chargeback through their card company and then been taken to court for the money that they've charged back through there because they give him his money back, you see, straight away.
Yeah.
Because that's how they work. So I did it, and it went to small claims court, and he didn't turn up after all the threats and all the nonsense and everything that's been going on. So he wrote this letter that basically said what a crook I was, as his letter of absence to court. It was horrendous. The stuff that he wrote about me was horrible, and I've never been that person that he describes me as being. And it's as if it's a completely different thing he's talking about completely all the way through. And I sit with this lovely judge in Wolverhampton Court, and I say, look, this is what happened. We did this, we did that. And you'll know. How much is this going to cost? I don't know, because you need this part. You're going to need some extra parts. Might be this, might be that. Do you want to go to town? Do you want stainless? Do you want brass? And sometimes it's hard to call it, especially when you're doing an ad hoc build for somebody. So this guy,
custom stuff.
This guy had booked in to have his Kiam. We didn't know it was a Kiam at the time, fitted to one of our PB frames, but the Kiam wasn't working when he turned up. So he wanted us to fix the Kiam, or we ended up having to fix the Kiam. Then he wanted us to change all of the inlet fits, all the other bits and bobs. And then he's like, and he paid for it, he was fine. But then afterwards he's like, well, I don't think I should have paid for all those extra bits now. And I'm like, well, you did say you wanted them. And he tried to use this weird defense that I tried to evade telling him about it. Do you know what I mean? I'm like, no, it wasn't the case. I sat at the end of the job and we wrote down everything that he'd had and did it all. And then he was complaining about our invoice style because it basically was supply and fit machine price, because I'd already done it separately. And by the time it went to the accountant to be written up, it was just 2 lines. Do you know what I mean? And he did all of this. And in the end, I got all of my money back. They paid my petrol expenses for my electric car, which was nice, to attend court. And it was okay.
So I've had experiences where I've just got work done and then received a bill and be like, oh shit, that was more than I expected, because we didn't discuss money. It's just, that's what I need doing. Can you sort it? Not necessarily with you, just with multiple suppliers and stuff.
It always happens.
And it's like, I didn't expect that, but I didn't ask. And if we'd have gone through every single thing and spent the time, well, that's going to cost you that, that's going to cost you that. It's a long process. It takes a long time to figure out how much everything's going to cost.
And
you can't really do it. You can't really do it until after the fact, really, when you sit down and go through everything that was done. And then you get the bill, and then it's plus VAT. It's like, oh shit! But if he's paid it and then complained, it's like, well,
weeks later,
why didn't you just discuss it before you sent the money, first of all? Or if you didn't, I don't know. It is difficult because this kind of transaction is like, you just assume that you've got enough money to cover the bill, and don't ask for all the extras if you're not sure whether if you're not sure what sort of, I don't know. It is difficult from a customer's perspective, but then to deal with it the way that they've dealt with it. I mean, I'm sure that
we came on initially, so it started with, I think I've overpaid. And he paid a 500 quid deposit to secure his frame in advance. And it just so happened that this came to 500 quid more than he thought he was going to spend. So I'm like, oh, shit. Maybe we did get it wrong. Do you know what I mean? I was like one of those moments like, well, if we have got it wrong, I'll sort it out straight away. Do you know what I mean? And I responded immediately with that. I didn't respond with, no, mate, impossible. I responded with, I'll look into it for you, because you know what? When you're running around, that's easy to do. Forget that that's happened and you've added your bill up and forgot to take it off. And when I went through it, we'd actually, I'd undercharged him about 70, 80 quid if I'd have done all the bits, because we'd rounded it down just to do a deal on all the stuff. So in the end, he'd had a good deal. But even right up until like the very end. So I win in court, and he sends me an email. I sent him an email afterwards saying, "These are my bank details for your payment. To make payment for the court hearing." Because a lot of people don't realise this, but just because you lose in court doesn't mean you automatically get a CCJ. So you're allowed to go to court and use court as a form of mediation. And if you lose, as long as you pay it within the time that the court agrees, no CCJ. So it's not like a negative impact on your record. It's actually quite an effective tool and a fair one as well. You may not agree with the outcome, but it's been mediated by somebody who is trained or deals with this type of thing in mediation all day, every day. And they don't know you, so they're impartial. And he sent me an email back saying, "I'm going to pay you 20 quid a month."
Can he do that?
So I wrote back saying, if he'd have gone to court and asked them in the court if he could pay in instalments, she probably would have granted it. And I would have objected and asked for the equipment back, but that's a different story, do you know what I mean? I don't know what the outcome would have been, but you can go to court and say, actually, I can't afford to pay it in one piece, and I make a payment agreement. And they'll accept it. But in the court order, it specifically said, you must pay this amount by this date. So I said, no, unfortunately, I'm not going to accept your 20 quid a month. The court order says it needs to be this. You'll give me the dick around, it'll be this, or I'm going to send it to bailiffs. And he messaged me back saying, you will not tell me. You're a scumbag. I'm going to appeal the court's decisions.
Could have done that if it had turned up.
He went through all this rigmarole, and I think the lady in the court was quite clever. I initially objected to her using his statement of evidence that he sent in because he didn't send me a copy in advance, and it's a requirement at the court process. So part of the UK court system, if you've never done it, is you have to send your evidence to both sides have to have all the documents a certain amount of time between courts, you know what you're turning up to deal with. And he never sent those documents at all. So I initially go to object against these documents, and she goes, no, we should allow it. So I'm like, I didn't want to rub the judge up the wrong way, so I let her do it. After the fact, I realise it's because if you don't go to court and you don't represent yourself in any way, so if you write a letter in your absence, that's classed as representing yourself, it gets read out in your absence. If you don't do that and don't attend, you can fill in a simple form and have it called what's set aside. Well, I didn't know when the court date was, that's why I didn't turn up.
Oh, so they did know. Yeah, so he's admitted that he did know because he sent the letter.
So you can very easily have it set aside and start the process again.
Yeah.
Because she accepted his letter meant that he couldn't have it set aside and he couldn't restart the process again. Because the first thing he tried to do was get it set aside. So I wrote, I put the day I passed it to DCBL, which are the people from you can't pay, we'll take it away, for them to go for a high court writ. The money suddenly appeared in my bank in the full amount. And I emailed him and said, I'm just checking that this is from you, because there was no, you know what I mean? And he wrote back and said, yes, I've had some legal advice. I've paid you.
So all done. It's resolved.
All done. I will do a video about it. I want to pitch the video as a video advice to all the traders that are going through this, because it wasn't immediately obvious what my options were in this case. Mm-hmm. And I kind of made it up as I went along. And the anguish and aggro it caused me. And, you know, we went through that. Those that watched my personal Facebook will see that there was a window where he kept leaving a negative review and then editing the review every day to reflect the latest communication that we'd had in private.
Yeah.
And it went on and on and on. And in the end, you know, for me, I got paid, but it was more about the right thing. Mm-hmm. So that's that one.
Yeah.
Sean Christie could vouch, mate. You helped me in my business partner so much we were down. Hope we never annoyed you. No, I had a great time. I have the
Veriflow K1 unloader been holding up fine. Feels like a cheat code for the purpose Jake's just described.
So in some instances, so Regen, have you got a K? You have got a K1. Yeah, so it depends upon the backflow back to the pump whether the K1 works or not. So just remember, it might not. If ever you're up at mine, I'd let you bolt one on and just try it first before you brought it. Do you know what I mean? If you have one from me and it gives you jip, just give me back. No big deal. You know what I mean?
Thank you. Any tips for flyer design? Have you ever done... What sort of advertising do you do? I don't suppose you need to anymore, do you?
So, initially, I did this... I did a flyer that was basically our logo with a list of what we did. And then I moved to this... It was a Nilfisk image of somebody jet washing. And it said something like, we're a rainbow servicing dealer. And the terminology meaning it doesn't matter what colour your machine is, we can service it. Because in the jet wash world, you're either a Nilfisk dealer or a Karcher dealer or an Earl dealer, so on and so forth. In later years, the last one that I did just said, come and join the Green Army with the dude. What's that famous?
The pointy finger dude with the hat on.
Pointy finger dude, yeah, with the hat on. And I just did come and join the Green Army. So that's kind of what I went with. Now, I don't do many of my adverts. So my socials is 90% run by a company now, a small company. And all of the little flyers, and I say flyers, but things that could be a flyer that are now a digital meme or a digital picture, Nikita runs off and does for us. My favourite is we're like OnlyFans but for free and on YouTube and about pressure washers. That made me, she sent me that one morning while I was drinking my drink, and I'm like, finally you're understanding my sense of humour. This is where I want to be. This is funny. So that was one of mine, because I am trying to grow, and you've done it to a certain degree. I'm trying to grow a YouTube following. So I have a good Facebook following. I get followed around all of these little bits that we do, but I'm now trying to do my own little thing in my own little way on YouTube. I just need to find how and what I'm going to do. So when I joked about doing the jet wash to McLaren, actually it's been the kickstart that I need just to get the kit and start doing it. And I've been given loads of advice, which is sort of worry less about the bloopers and the production, and just film your content and release it and roll with it. But I'm quite a perfectionist in what I do, so I don't mind cocking up my words and having a poor script, but I will do it in ultra crystal clear 4K with great sound.
Yeah, it's
you know what I mean.
What's the reason for wanting to do YouTube, would you say? Because you seem busy. It takes a lot of time to edit these videos and stuff.
So I need to do certain videos, right, that get lost. So in the past, I've done short videos on Facebook to answer direct inquiries.
And they just get lost in the feed.
And then they get lost and disappeared. So I did one about the different couplings and fittings. You know, this is a mini, this is a MIDI, this is how you measure the difference. This is a quality one, this is a not so much quality one, yada, yada. And I've done all that kind of stuff. And I think that I would like to build a YouTube channel that is predominantly 2-minute hacks and tips to help people along. And also, to double up with the stuff that we do as well. So I can use the YouTube I need to do a video to explain how to use and start our alpha equipment for my customers.
Mm-hmm.
But that will also double up as a promotional tool. So let's talk about why we all use promotion for stuff. So when I do it on something like WhatsApp and I send it to somebody, so these are videos that I'm already doing, but just in a non-production environment.
I think tech advice is a really good idea. Just saying, someone asked me the other day how to change the pressure on their machine. So I've played about with the unloader valve, but I can't get it low enough to do a roof clean. And it's like, have you tried adjusting your revs? How do I do that? And it's like quite basic information, but if you just like, I'm also very quick. When do I turn the choke off? And it's like, for someone who's never used an engine before, that sort of stuff is quite intimidating. You don't know what you're doing. So if you could just do a video of you filming the machine, this is a fuel cut-off, this is a choke, here's the rev adjustment, here's the unloader valve for adjusting the pressure. Right, let's turn it on from cold, choke off, turn the revs down, and let's play with the pressure and see what happens when we turn this knob. And like, this is how we run the machine. Like something like that would be a perfect first video. I know you've done a couple of videos, but just
I did one about the spigot.
Yeah, so filing the spigot down.
So the idea behind the spigot one was a test to me. Could I shoot a video without it impacting my workload during the day? I.e., not take me more than a couple of minutes extra on top of the job, right? And could I then produce it and get it out without it taking up tons of my time?
Yeah.
And that was a test. That was, for me, that was a test. So I've also experimented with several different cameras, several different ways of doing it. I am purposely concentrating on the short form at the moment because at this point in time, I think if I was to do a 30-minute video, I think I would lose people at 1.5 minutes in before I got to anything fruity.
Can I make a suggestion? I could literally make a list of the first videos that you should do. So the first one is starting and running your machine and then adjusting your pressure. The second one would be, what size surface cleaner should I buy and why? And what nozzles do I need? The third one should be the benefits of a Q trigger and quick release. The fourth one should be benefits of securing your turbo nozzle onto the end of your lance and what size turbo nozzle do I need? How do I know how to check that for myself without asking you? Nozzle charts, all that sort of stuff. If you think of it from a new customer's point of view, what is the information that a new customer asks you before they purchase a machine from you? It's just like the basics. What do I need to get going? And how do I know I'm not going to mess? How do I know I'm not going to buy the wrong thing or mess up the kit that I do buy? How do I service a machine? Servicing a machine could be such a cool video for you to make. I don't know why you haven't done that yet.
Because I'll send you a picture of my new studio for my videos of doing this type of thing. I've changed a corner of the unit to have a workbench with proper lighting all the way over it, so that we can do it. And the idea with it also is I've got several GoPros to be in various positions. One to do a time lapse from the top, one on the side. I've just got them all set up with the remote controls.
I think you're focusing too much on the production and less on the content. I think I'm going to challenge you. What are you doing tomorrow? What phone have you got?
OnePlus.
Perfect. Good camera on those. I'm going to challenge you tomorrow. Forget all your cameras. Take your phone and just go and film a video of, what can the first one be? Starting and running your machine and adjusting the revs, adjusting the pressure. When should you use the choke? Starting it from cold. You could do one about a return to tank, buffer tank setup, Like, just film a video tomorrow between 5 and 10 minutes, upload it, like, chop it up on your phone, upload it to YouTube.
Has anybody complained about your channel going down the pan since you've stopped drinking? I don't like this bossy Jake. I much prefer the passive one.
What do you call me?
What?
What, Jake?
Passive.
What was the one before that? Sassy?
Submissive. No, sassy. Well, yeah. You're a bit sassy, bit saucy.
I would watch those videos. I'll definitely be watching those videos. Jake spitting facts. Video identifying different parts of the pump as well. Pressure washer anatomy would be a hit. Do it, Darren. The people want it. There you go. Easy.
This is why I brought the kit.
I think you're focusing too much on the kit.
Although, I like my top videos.
What I'll say is, the other day, that 4K camera and the microphone sounded crispy. It looked beautiful. So if you want to use that, fine. Just get it out. You want the least friction you can put between filming the content and putting it on YouTube. If there's steps where you've got to get the SD card out, you've got to put it in the laptop, you've got to start editing stuff. If you can just film it, chop it on your phone, get it on YouTube, that's how you get it going, I feel like, personally. I need a wee. Do you want to... no, there's not a lot of questions in the chat at the minute.
Run your advert.
Run my advert?
Roll advert. Roll VT.
Okay, I'm going to mute you, and I'm going to be back in... Oh, God, I'm desperate. I'm going to be back soon. 2 seconds, guys. Now, these videos take a lot of time and effort to film and edit on top of trying to run a successful pressure washing business. If you find any of the information in my videos useful, then I'd like for you to consider becoming a paid member of the channel. Circle members and above will get access to my private Discord for members only, where you can pretty much get a hold of me 24 hours a day for inspiration, technical help, marketing advice, or just a general chat. I post pictures and videos that you won't see on any of my other socials. You'll be the first to hear about giveaways, special offers and announcements, and it's just generally a nice place full of like-minded people who are all heading towards similar goals. We've got various different experience levels. We've got a few professionals in the chat as well. If you want to push your business, in my opinion, this is the place to be. We also have 2 other membership tiers. One is just to show a bit of support for the channel, and the other one is for boosted members, which will not only give you access to the private Discord, but also loads of high quality promotional images for you to start your business. I know what it's like when you're ready to get going, but you don't have any before and after pictures to put on your leaflets. At the moment, there's about 150 images that you can use for pretty much whatever you like, and my intention is to constantly update these over the next few years with all of my before and afters that have helped promote my business. Last thing before I let you go, new videos come out every Monday night at 5:30, and then I go live at 7:30 to chat to you guys and answer as many questions as possible. We do live quotes for real customers and just generally keep up to date with everything going on in the pressure washing world. Thanks for watching. Back to the video. And we are back.
I'll unmute myself then, shall I?
Can a 14 horsepower engine run a 21 litre per minute pump?
Yes.
There you go.
Is it actually a 14 horsepower engine?
Oh, why? Why'd you say that?
Some of the Chinese ones about to say 14 horsepower on the back, but really they're 6.5 horsepower. We've all seen them, haven't we?
Who's selling them, Daz?
So you've seen them, they keep popping up every now and then.
Who's selling them?
It says GX390 on the back, and it's got like a Wilkes's pump on the front of it, and they're like 170 quid.
Who's selling them then? Fastest pisser in the West. That's me, baby. Why don't I have to join button?
Got a join button next to the subscribe button.
You might need the link instead. If you're an iPhone user, there's a chance that Apple don't want you to see that link. So I will send you the link instead. Did you do the curbside cleaning podcast the other day?
Yes.
How did it go?
We talked about testicles.
Did you?
Yeah.
Nothing new there then?
No, well, the story's out there, isn't it? I outed myself on Liam's, he asked the questions. I gave him an honest answer. There's nothing funny about testicles.
Okay. I've just put that link in the chat, by the way. Good video idea for you, Jake. Review different products. That would require me to buy different products. And you know what I'm like? I'm tight. If people want to send me products to review...
Whoa, stop there. You're not still buying products, are you?
I will happily review them. However, I do not do partial reviews. So I won't... You can't send me a product and say, talk about it favourably. If you want to send me something and want an honest review, which I think a lot of people are scared of, rightly so. But if you've got a good product and you believe in it, send it me and I will review it. For example, the Rutland Pumps ProJet and then the switcher, the switch tip, that is a cracking invention, and I can already see myself enjoying that. So
I've not seen it in person yet myself. It looks like it'll be good.
I want to have a that'll be at the expo, won't it? I'll be able to have a play then. Hopefully it's got that satisfying click when you switch it around into the different positions. Ooh.
Satisfying click.
Hi Ben, how you doing? Are you sure you don't want to work on my old Clark? Do you know what that's in reference to?
Yeah, I think so. No, I don't. You're right.
If you've got a product you believe in, give it to Smelt for free and he'll bin it live on Monday evening and tell everyone it sucks. I think I'd like to do some more giveaways. I have got another giveaway lined up, actually.
Oh, I am going to give a jet watch away on my channel, Jake. I am going to give one away, a brand new one.
There you go. 1,000 subscribers.
To any one of my first 1,000 subscribers, we'll do a free draw, and I will give it away.
Longest member, surely. That equates to a free Moser, I think. Luke, thank you so much for the 20 months. That's very kind of you, mate. I do have a Moser 1 sat in the van that I'm not using. Do you deserve it?
I think you should do a poll in the chat. Let the people decide, Jake. Let the people decide.
I'd have to get their permission first. They probably wouldn't want me giving it away.
You can still do the chat anyway, just to see if you need to ask the question. Do the poll anyway, should I say. Let your subjects decide the fate.
I can see the springs inside the switch tip failing pretty quickly. Has it got actual springs in there? I suppose those ball bearings would have springs behind them, wouldn't they? Maybe. Unless it's just like a, one of them.
I've not seen it, so I can't comment.
Give me a price, Jake. Ben, what are you talking about, mate? Are you talking about the switch tip? You've seen it, haven't you, Darren?
I've not seen one in person. What's the channel name? I can't. You feel free to plug the channel if you want, Jake. I gave you a little plug.
You what?
In the last.
Sorry.
Gave you
Sorry.
The last one.
Sorry. I know what you're talking about now. There's the switch.
I even plugged you out on Sydney's channel as well. Did you spot that one?
Did you call him Sydney? Or Sid in his channel?
And he kept it in the edit as well. So what the people really want to know in the chat, Jake, what all 93 people that are now watching want to know is, when are you going to man up and come and face me and Danielson at badminton?
I don't see it happening, to be honest. Just because you're about an hour away. And I've not got that explosive power that I used to have.
And you think that 161 kilograms of me at 46-year-old has?
I don't
The
know.
microphone held up then.
You what?
Shy then. I've just got random teenage girl behind me going, oh my god, oh my god. Child, I'm on YouTube live here.
No, it's just
If you're decent.
you what?
Oh, it's the big child.
The big
I've got
child.
the big child.
Hello.
Yes, child. Hello.
Hold on, you have to get your face down here if you want to get in on
I
the
look
shot.
rough as hell.
Is that
You-
Belle?
all we can see, yeah, this is Bal. This is Bal who scored 3 tries on Sunday in a rugby match. And then the last try finished the game, didn't it?
Yeah.
And he had won, so they let her kick to convert it. And she actually converted her own try.
Nice.
Wait, hold on.
Poke your head in, Belle. Let's have a look at you.
So
Belle,
we'll see her at the Expo.
Belle, do you get what Jakey gets? He calls it sausage finger.
Is this appropriate? She's 15, Jake.
He plays rugby, and this weekend,
Yeah.
he got 3 fat sausage fingers. A couple of weeks ago, he sprained his ankle. And
No,
then,
I've just got big hands anyway.
do you get like regular injuries, or are you?
Yeah,
okay,
all the
man?
time.
You do.
Break.
Like what?
We've got everybody's here now. They're all getting in on the
I
action.
get injuries, but then I break more people than I get injured. So
I can imagine.
Oh, yeah, she really did put a girl on a bum on Sunday. We all gassed. It was like, oh.
But do you
Hold
find
on.
that you get like? Do you find that you get your fingers trodden on and you land funny on your hip, or like? Do you find?
oh yeah,
Yeah,
all the time. I just forget.
it's the
I just forget what.
adrenaline. In it. Do you get like bruises all over your body and like you swollen wrists?
Oh yeah,
and
all
like
over, all
you,
over my legs.
you forgot how you've done it.
Yeah, I'm just like, oh, that's rugby, innit?
Jakey didn't actually sick note or anything. He wanted to work, and I said no. You're not working with a swollen ankle. You can barely walk.
I've had like the only major injury I've had is like I did something to my Achilles and I've got like loads of things wrong with my legs. Like I've got Achilles tendonitis, plantar Osgood-Schlatter's disease.
You sound like
Flat feet.
You sound like you're making them up now.
She's
Yeah,
making excuses up.
I'm not making excuses up.
This is when she has a bad day. She's like, Dad, it's my spastic legs.
It's my dangly
I'm like,
fasciitis.
yeah, it's my dangly skyvolitis.
Wait, will they be able to see a video if I put the video on against the screen?
Which video do you want to show?
It's a video of me kicking a conversion.
You'll have to hold it near the camera. I've put
You
my hand over my
you gotta
face.
take Darren's face out of it.
Hold on, it's on the Family Newton group chat.
No, it's blurred. No, you gotta pull it back a bit. No. Yeah, that's it. Stay there. Go on. Oh, look at this for a moment. Oosh. That's quite far back as well.
Never kicked a conversion in my life.
And it was a cup game as well.
What are you doing with nice nails as a rugby player?
I haven't got nice nails. They're grim.
They look better than mine.
Grim.
So anybody that wants to meet Belle, she'll be on the stand at the Expo Family Business.
Are you going to put a smile on it this year, Belle?
Last year. I swear I did. I'm just tired. And like, yeah, I'm just tired.
Are you starving the Friday after school?
Yeah, I'm scarring Friday off school. I'm not going in.
You can't say that live on stream. Pretty sure
You
that's...
Work experience.
yeah.
You're at the age that you're allowed to do work experience now.
Yeah, I am.
Are you allowed to hand out beers legally?
If they're free to friends, I don't see why not.
Yeah, probably not.
Pat, hold on, there's some questions. I'm getting called out here on the chat. What have I done wrong? Power shift cleaning. Do 3/8 connects restrict your water flow rather than large side connects?
Hold on.
So we're talking about high pressure water here. So if you're under 30 litres a minute, 3/8 is fine.
What have I got?
You've got 3/8 on everything of yours. You're about 30 litres a minute on your machine. 25, 30 litres a minute.
What's the alternative?
Half inch, you go up a size.
Are we talking about connectors or hose size?
Connectors.
Is there a thinner hose? And would a thinner
Yeah.
hose restrict the flow? Because I think H2O use the thinner hoses, but they seem to be fine.
No, a thinner. They just might have the compact hose, or it just might seem thinner because there's more of it.
Single wire.
I very much. Yeah, there might be only single wire hose.
I'm trying to find a good video of me. Or even a good picture for rugby.
Yeah, well, I don't think anybody on Jake's stream wants to see pictures of you in your rugby kit.
No, we're trying to find the other one.
The one where you smoke it out the way.
Yeah.
My partner is a pub manager who doesn't really want to be at the expo. If you want help with the beer, there you go. Should have more fun at your stand. You still didn't mention the... Oh, sorry. Channel name. Sorry. My bad. It's youtube.com/precious
It should be at Precious Washers, shouldn't it?
washers.
I've only got a couple of videos up at the moment. I'm working on it.
Here it is.
I'm going to start editing and doing his videos.
Belle says she wants to come in on.
His videos are crap.
Absolutely wrecked.
Don't click on that old one. There you go. That's it. So look
at
that one there. That how to fix your spigot. I've got the microphones on and everything in that one. How
Belle,
to fix your cute spigot.
why do you think they're crap? I want to hear more from Belle. Why do you think his videos are crap?
They're like millennial.
Shall we bring some of Jake's videos up?
Are you saying
Go
he's?
on, then,
Are
actually.
you saying he's an old man?
He is an old man, look at him.
What would you do to make his videos better?
Not make him as cringy.
It's because he's a dad. She didn't like in the last one that in 2 minutes I turned a 2-minute 30 video into a mini Matt Armstrong production where I had like sound over reveal, exciting music and bloopers at the
It
end.
was not to music, it's like YouTube special music. It's not exciting.
Hello.
Don't encourage Jake.
Do you want to come
Jake's
say
just
hi to
picking
Belle,
on me.
Soph? Come on, PJ Soph. PJ masks, PJ masks. Oh, she's all blurred though. You can't really see her. Say hello. Come here. Say hi.
Hiya.
Are you coming
I've
to
come
the
for a Chinese again soon.
Are you coming to the expo this year?
No, not told me anything about it.
28th of March. Are you doing both days?
I'm doing both days.
Which hotel are you staying at?
The moment I've not booked one, but Helen's pressuring me to book a hotel for at least her. I'm not sure whether I should travel home or not.
No, don't do that. Just get a hotel. Why would you travel home?
So I like my own bed. I'm really weird about sleeping in other places.
I think you're being tight. Just get a hotel. Have a
Coming from the Mr. Tightness, you're the tightest bloke I know.
The only reason I'm going to the expo is because he's round the corner.
And you can claim the fuel back on expenses.
Yeah.
It's a business trip. Luke, daughters are 2 and 8. Yeah, you will be broken. I've got 15 and 12. I've just turned 15 and Nancy's 12. And I've got two exact opposites. I've got this thing that's got all the confidence in the world ever. Did you met Nancy as well, didn't you, when we went to the Chinese?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And she's the opposite end of the scale. She doesn't want to speak to anybody. I'd rather sit in a corner and just do her own thing.
She's lovely though.
But it still gives. Yeah. It's as much grief either way. An aggro. What were we talking about anyway before you came and interrupted me with rugby?
Do you want to
Memory
do a curry or something Friday night?
Chinese.
Don't drive home. Let's all do a big. Let's hire out the local Chinese or something, and just say right, everyone pile in.
Oh, have you heard her?
What?
She wants to do
There's
karaoke.
like a Chinese that does a karaoke. Is it far from there? From the expo thing?
Yes, well, the one that's in Burton is miles away from where the expo is.
There'll be another one that does karaoke.
She recently went to a Chinese, an all-you-can-eat Chinese, where they got a separate room where you could eat or you could eat Chinese, but have the karaoke machine on at the same time. So you got like wasted whilst doing karaoke.
And someone challenged me to an eating competition.
Who won?
It was with obviously me. It was like my rugby team, and this little skinny girl was saying, "Oh, I bet I could eat more than you. I bet I could eat more than you." I was like, "Right, whoever wins gets a £5." And I won by I doubled her amount of plates, but I'm not going to say how much I ate because it was quite bad. I didn't eat anything all day, and then I just saved myself and had like loads of plates.
Did you feel gross afterwards though?
No, we went to play badminton after.
We did. So to help Belle's fitness, like side to side, to make her more nimble, she comes to badminton with us.
That explosive power. That's what I'm lacking. My ankles will just disintegrate if I try and accelerate too fast.
Neil, you can reduce the flow, mate.
Is it true that you can reduce the pressure but not the flow? A certain company that's going to the expo has said you can reduce the pressure but not the flow, even if you turn the machine down.
So I assume you're talking about a jet wash pump.
Love you.
It is possible. Oh, we love you too, Soph. Night.
Darren says good night.
Good night.
Yeah. So my understanding is...
You've done that one down a little bit. I think you did me dirty there. I was being nice as well.
Sorry. My understanding is that essentially, kind of, revs equal flow, unloader valve equals pressure, but they sort of go hand in hand. Is that right?
So, just reducing the revs will lower the flow, but only after you get past a certain point.
Right.
So most pressure washer pumps, when they get to I'll have a
Yeah, I've made your coffee too, but
thank you, or a hot chocolate.
I can't be asked to make hot chocolate. I've made your coffee.
And don't swear on Jake's channel, you're getting cancelled.
It'd be funny if you just called her something like a swear word then as she walked away. That'd have been funny.
Yeah, drop the C-bomb.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I do that around my house. So the pumps are designed that when you get to a certain amount of RPM, they generate maximum flow. So turning the revs down won't. Let's say full revs to 3/4 revs isn't going to adjust the flow at all.
Okay.
But it will stop your machine from generating as much pressure. All right. Then there's a point where it does alter the two. Your unloader the valve, by the very nature of what the unloader valve does. So when you start to turn the unloader valve down and you see water coming out of the unloader valve bleeding off, right, that's obviously reducing flow. Right, so that will reduce the flow. There is, trapped pressure versus flow sensitive. Yes, but you'd use a needle valve, and a needle valve, you fasten that to the other side of the pump, that bleeds off the flow as well.
So they can both adjust pressure and flow potential.
Yes, but the way to ensure that you have actually reduced your flow, so here's a tip for Jakey's channel and for everybody in the chat we've never discussed before, come down your nozzle sizes. So, for example, when we spec up our roof cleaning poles, because people still want the turbo to spin quite quickly, so they still want 100, 120 bar to clean with. If you've got like an 07 in on a 21 litre machine, when you come down that far, you'll notice that the turbo's barely turning because it's a big turbo. You put in, and that's because it's also doing 21 litres a minute. If you put an 05 in, for example, you can back it off to 120 bar, and then if you reference your nozzle chart, the 05, 120 bar, you'll see what flow's coming out at the end of the nozzle.
Yeah. So you can use a smaller orifice nozzle to use less water.
Yes.
If you leave the machine, so this is my understanding, say you've got your revs set and you've got your pressure set and you've got the correct nozzle on for your machine.
I don't want that one.
The dog's been looking at it.
I don't want it.
It's not listening to me again.
Sorry. So go on, go for it.
Are you ready now?
I prefer Jake. He's way less technical, way more laid back. This sassy, on point, on production, Jake. I'm not.
You think I'm sassy?
No, pink wafers a little bit now.
I'm not sassy. So you've got your machine set. Not even maximum flow, maximum pressure, maybe 3/4 of everything. You've got your machine set. You've got the appropriate nozzle size for your machine, and you're cleaning fine with it. If you wanted to use less water, say you've got an 07 nozzle, take that out. You put in an 04 nozzle. Am I right? Am I right in saying that you could potentially overpressure your machine? Let's say you've got everything turned all the way up and you're running at 200 bar with an 07. If you were to put an 05 on, could you potentially be going higher than 200 bar and doing damage to your machine?
Only to what your unloader valve set to. So your maximum pressure for your unloader boss. If your machine, another top tip, here we go. Oh, they're all coming out tonight now. Look at this. Put your money away. Tell you this for free. Well, in Jake's case, put your money in subscriptions, and I'll tell you this for Jake's pod. Right.
Just a bit of free advertising for your YouTube channel as well. Don't forget about that.
Yeah. So we'll get the YouTube. We've got to get those likes up. I've done 250 people this week, Jake.
There you go. You've done 250 people. I bet you're tired.
Yeah. Because I tell you, you're much better when you're a bit more drunk. I like it. You're a bit slower. You're a bit too quick-witted. You know what I mean? Right. So, when you set an unloader valve, the point at which the maximum pressure is set at, so when you let go of your trigger and you see that peak, what you should see is the peak should be no more than 10% of what your running pressure should be.
Okay.
So if you wasn't watching for water going backwards down the unloader to do it that way, so matching it with flow, you would set it so that if your machine was, let's say, 200 bar, when you've got the correct nozzle in, your machine's running at 200 bar, and you turn your unloader valve down, when you let go of the trigger and you see that first peak, it should be, it will work out around 10%. So 200 bar, no more than 220 bar. If you put a smaller nozzle in, what happens is it pushes the machine to that break-off point because you've got the smaller nozzle in, but at 220 bar, it should be then bypassing anything extra that's coming past. But it means that your machine's running at maximum load.
Yeah. Can you over-labour your machine by putting a smaller nozzle on it?
That's what they're saying. So what they're saying is because you're labouring the machine, it won't be over-labouring it, but because you're labouring it at the top, your machine will be using like the most amount of fuel and the most amount of horsepower.
Yeah.
Because it shouldn't be more than it should manage.
Just bypassing the water. Okay, so...
It shouldn't be more than it should manage. But what people do with the petrol machines is they just crank the unloader valve down, and because when they let go, it's a short clink, clink, they never notice it's high until they put in a small nozzle. So if Christie's is still on, their JCB machine, when it arrived, the one that they've given to me, I don't want to do a spoiler alert for the channel, but the unloader valve has come either they've damaged it when they've unboxed it, or it's come damaged and jammed. So when they put a small nozzle in to try and do roof cleaning, it laboured the engine and stalled the engine. So what happens is if that bypass isn't working properly or it's set too high, the engine stops.
Okay.
So we quite often see machines come to us where they'll go, it'll start, they'll close the easy start valve on it once it's running, and then the machine will die. Or will sound just too laboured all the time.
Because it's not allowing that water to bypass.
Yeah, so either the unloader valve's stuck or the unloader valve's set wrong.
So, for example, so are you saying that you can't damage your machine? If everything's working, you can't damage your machine by putting a nozzle on that's too small?
So no, it's not optimal, so if you don't damage it.
If I put an O2 on my machine that requires an O9, full revs, full pressure, it will
Your K2 won't start.
The K2 won't start.
Your K1 won't start because there isn't enough flow to kick it into second gear.
Right.
But assuming you hadn't got a K1 on, it would run. and you wouldn't overburden anything. Your unloader would just bypass.
Okay, so all these people that have got a machine, small one, and they upgrade to a slightly bigger, like 15 or 21 litre per minute machine, they can still use their old nozzles to downsize if they want to. They're not going to cause damage. Right, okay. I was under the impression that you would.
It's just not optimal.
Yeah.
Do you really want to be running your machine at full revs with at maximum load to use half the water? And actually the answer is no. I'd rather back everything off a little bit and do half the water that way. But a good way of making sure you don't use too much water, so if you go to somewhere, again, put your money away, Jake subscribers, you put this in Jake's kitty, right? If you're struggling with water on a site, have a set of selection of smaller nozzles, back your machine off, put the smaller nozzles in, bring those nozzles up to a new operating pressure, say 180 bar, but with an 04 in, or an 045 in your case, you'll use half as much water as your 09, and you'll probably make your buffer tank last. Granted, you're only going to have half as much coming out.
Am I right in saying with a smaller nozzle, you could still achieve that 200 bar, but you'd be using less revs to get to that point? Right. So if you want to use less water, you have a selection of nozzles, one for your max pressure, max revs, and then you'd have another smaller nozzle for when you back the machine off, but you still want to achieve like a similar pressure, but you want to put less water out. Yeah, that was so I had that right in my head then, because I was just making sure that was, because I've been telling people that, and I don't like to spread misinformation. So
Nails, Doff and Thermotech are a con. Doff and Thermotechs are slightly different because they've got electric, so they'll be restricted by running amps. I'd be curious to know what's been said about them. I mean, yes, I do think, controversially here, I do think that they're one of the most marked up machines on the market. Doff or Thermotech. You can achieve the same results as a Doff or a Thermotech with your machine, Jake, and a hotbox set to operate in the same conditions. Why you would want to spend so much money on one of them, I know it's the accreditation, that's why people do, but for everybody else, you can achieve the same cleaning stuff.
We spoke about this before, so you're saying that some heritage properties will only allow you to use a Doff machine to clean their property because it's certified to do that.
Exactly that.
Even though one of your machines with a boiler could do the same job.
Or your machine with a boiler, or any machine in the.
How often is a property owner requiring you to use it? One, how many property owners know what a Doff is? And two, how many of them are going to say, are you using a Doff? Because if you're not, don't bother quoting for it.
Imagine restoring a listed building.
But who's asking?
And then imagine that a purchasing manager, so I get asked for this Doff style clean a lot by companies that have Googled cleaning, found the Doffs themselves because of their marketing, a bit like how we guys have found the E2C stuff because they do a lot of great marketing. And they then come and ask for, can you come and clean? Do you have a Doff machine? So I know recently I was asked, in the end, it wasn't an exact requirement, but they asked for a Doff style machine to do the clean. And in the end, the customer demonstrated that their machine could operate exactly the same as a Doff. So they went with their equipment.
Strange, isn't it? Did Doff create this certification and then like corner the market, or is it something that they just spec their machine to do?
Genuinely, don't know. It happened in the background while I was busy doing what I did.
Yeah, weird.
I mean, I don't really look at the open market. I don't look at what's out and about there. You've got to think that the pathway that I've been on as a business hasn't crossed a lot with. So I've not really crossed with window cleaners. The pumps that you call softwash pumps I would only ever come across those pumps in carpet cleaners when I've repaired them in the past, for example. So I've seen all the kit, but in different places. So then this stuff sort of appeared, and I'm sort of finding out, not third hand, but some of this stuff's been out for a long time. It's like I sometimes have to remind myself to look before I invent something, because a lot of the time something's already been done.
I mean, the industry's been around for many years, isn't it? So all the stuff that I'm thinking of, it already exists. You just have to do a bit of Googling. Here's a fun question.
Are you sure it's a fun question?
Yeah. Where do you think, what's next for the industry? Where do you think the industry's going? Not necessarily where's the industry going, but not in terms of legislation or health and safety or any of that sort of stuff. Something fun that could change the industry forever. What do you think people need that doesn't exist yet?
The evolution of what we're doing now has already started.
Go on.
So we started doing this with our cartridge jet washers. And for many years it was a 15150. Now we're on a minimum of 21 litres as a minimum accepted advice given anywhere now. I'm not convinced it's 100% the right advice, but you guys in the chat, you do the job every day, so you're saying it does more. Do you know what I mean?
Are you talking about litres per minute? I think 15 to 21 is fine for most residential stuff, unless you're doing commercial.
Well, that's where I'm going. Okay. So I think we're going Americanized a little bit, where we're going to keep going bigger till we come out the top, because the bigger the machine equipment gets, the harder it is to hold on to, which then means we need more equipment, so bigger surface cleaners, that type of stuff that's semi-automated, if you will. So if you imagine that a surface cleaner that you push around is semi-automated because it holds the lance as you push it around, I think that we will be going to eventually an automated solution for a bunch of what we're doing. So I think that we're going through the growing with equipment sizes. So I'm seeing ever more, asking for bigger. So I already see that trend towards the American style outputs. And then I think that when we come out the top of that, it'll be how can we automate some of these. So I think things like that ride-on lawnmower with flat surface cleaners on the bottom that you're showing earlier.
Yeah.
I think that's towards where we're going next.
Like just copying everything the Americans do, basically.
To a certain degree.
It is a fun one.
I think we'll do it with a bit more finesse.
What about laser cleaning?
Don't know enough about it to comment.
Have you seen them where they can like remove rust from like metal, or they'll clean concrete? It just burns everything off. I wonder if you could do that for tarmac and concrete slabs.
Well, ice blasting exists at the moment, and that's a really effective way to clean.
Ice blasting.
Because there's no residue when it's finished. So it's a harmless product, water, that's blasted and then cleaned.
Would that be similar to sandblasting? Is it a similar sort of texture?
Same idea.
Are you removing the top layer of maybe the coating so you wouldn't... Like you wouldn't want to use sandblasting on slate tiles, for example.
They use it for mud underneath cars. Just take the paint off.
Oh, so it's
just
not, if it can't damage the surface, then yeah. I agree with the theory, although Jake's machine is 30 litres per minute and it still doesn't remove the debris from the block paving with a surface cleaner. So all he had little unnecessary. I think I understand what you're saying. I am very intrigued by this whole flat surface cleaner malarkey on block paving, because some people say they get great results, and a lot of people say they can't achieve enough pressure to actually clean block paving and
I think
remove
it's
weeds.
subjective, isn't it? I think it's completely subjective and everybody else's style. So I know people that hit a driveway or let's just say a slabbed area that's got weeds in it, and they'll very quickly turbo it first to get the weeds out, then go over with a surface cleaner to do the clean. I think that there's a lot where we don't divulge the process of how we do it to get the results, and I don't think everybody's completely honest neither. I think those people that are saying, I'm just achieving this with this, I think they've got an extra step that either they're not disclosing or they're not talking about.
Yes. However, some people have come in the chat and said, I use an 18-inch surface cleaner with 15-degree nozzles on block paving with weeds and moss, and I get great results. And I'm using like a 21 litre per minute machine, 200 bar. I'm like, how? Because I'm using a 30 litre per minute machine, smash the revs up, same size surface cleaner, same size nozzles, and it's barely touching it. So I'm like, how? Is it my machine? But then I've tried it on Jakey's machine as well, and it's the same.
Is it your technique?
Is it my technique?
I assume you're rejetting between the two machines.
Yeah, it's different size jets. I've got 2 surface cleaners. Is this person's standards the same as mine? Like maybe they're taking the heads off the weeds,
question, isn't it?
But then
that's the other question.
Then I don't want to insult them and say, well, maybe your work's not as good as mine, because that's. But also,
I have the same problem when I'm buying a car. I have the same problem when I'm buying a car. One person's version of Clean and Immaculate is completely different to my version of Clean and Immaculate. You know what I mean? It's. We've talked about it before. Some of these things, standards are subjective, aren't they? Right.
Where do you see the industry?
Yeah, that's just seen that one.
Sorry, I was just going to read it out.
So I think we're going to.
Can you read out the question so that people that are just listening can hear what
the question is, where do I see the industry in 10 or 20 years' time? Do I see electric catching in all that time frame to give us what petrol does currently?
Good question. So, like a Tesla, like a Tesla pressure washer.
So I already know, because I've been involved in some of these projects, that there is several out there, trailers, because of the weight, with Bowser on board, with a hot wash, with basically forklift batteries on it. They exist now to go into, like, I think this one went into the London Underground or somewhere like that, do you know what I mean? The only downside is, I think it was an hour's use for 12 hours charging.
I think if you imagine the sort of range you can get on a car now, on an electric car, and you add that sort of battery tech powering a hot pressure washer, it's going to be, you could get to the point where you could run all day.
We'll skip batteries. You heard it here first.
Hydrogen.
We'll skip batteries. We'll be on hydrogen. JCB have already done the small plant engine.
Yeah, I think Toyota were working on it for a long time, and they're not ready to put anything out yet. But JCB have just.
I've had a 390 working on hydrogen before.
Yeah.
Making its own hydrogen.
Water. It's hydrogen and water.
Yeah. Basically, you have a little water vessel with some electrodes in it, with a battery, and feed it straight into the air intake. Start it up and turn the fuel off. Away you go. Straight up.
You want to get in touch with Toyota? Let them know you made a breakthrough.
It's not safe, that's why I can't release it. Because they save some wafers for a bowl. You're not ready to be rugby tackled. I get the fat jab tomorrow. These are my last wafers. That's why the packet's been brought in. Marshall Air. Interesting idea.
You will never kill. Sorry.
Just about the Marshall Air. Mind your fingers. I'm going for it. Look at them go down.
You'll never kill weeds just by pressure washing. You need a systemic weed killer or it just takes the foliage off. Unless it's above 120 degrees, it won't kill anything organic.
You'll kill them with about 70, I reckon.
Well, you said this quite often. Whatever you've got your boiler set at, it's not coming out the other end at that by the time it's come out the other end of your nozzle.
You're not turning a turbo.
A lot of
with
people
steam.
think, a lot of people think they're steam cleaning, but actually they're just making steam. And they're not necessarily steam cleaning.
I'm even dunking my wafers now for anybody who's interested.
Because if you've got enough pressure behind it to spin a turbo nozzle, it's already cooled down by the time it's come out. And so you're not steam cleaning. That was something you said, not me.
True story. True story.
Here we
I'm
go.
only going to be here in 5 minutes. We've got any more questions?
Steve's the one that mentioned it a while back. I posted one last week on my Facebook that was done with a surface cleaner. It was mossy but not weedy. 2 jets, nozzles off Darren for my 21 litre per minute. Do you know which jets they were, Steve? Specifically, are they 15s? I'm assuming they're 15s. 18-inch surface cleaner.
Have you got 3 bars or 2 bars on your surface cleaner?
On mine, on my 21, I've got 2. On my 18, I've got 3.
There you go. Put a 2 bar on with your
18.
big machine. Run your 18 on your 30 litre.
That's something I haven't tried.
It should float. It should come off the ground.
It's a stainless one,
Go
so
through
it
chat.
probably won't.
Still will.
It's a metal
And if
one.
it doesn't, and you've got restrictions in your high pressure hose, you want to move up to 1/2-inch hose to get maximum flow.
1/2-inch hose or 1/2-inch connectors.
Just the next size up from 3/8.
All right, I'll do that then. Where can I get how do I know what sort of bar I need to get? It's that Kiam, the Kiam one.
Just put what jets are in your 18-inch.
If I pull it up,
Why don't you just put 2 like 04s in the 18-inch and go at it with that?
I haven't got 2 bars in my 18-inch. Do I need to buy a whole new pressure washer?
Look, what you got in your 18-inch? 2 nozzles
3. This is
in
what
your
I've got.
18-inch.
Yeah, this is what I've got. But so it was advertised with 2 bars, but when it arrived, it had 3. So maybe I can just ask them to send out a bar for me.
You'll get a marked improvements on your clean with 2 nozzles instead of 3.
Okay. All right. Maybe I'll try that then. Any more questions for Darren? Because once he's finished these biscuits, I think he's going to go to sleep. I can't believe you're eating wafers before going to get a jab to make you skinny. That logic just seems... Surely, diet and exercise first before getting injected with something crazy.
Been doing that, mate, for weeks. For months, I've been really well behaved. Packed in the chocolate. If I have anything fizzy, which is rare, but they brought me one in now, I only ever take the sugar-free stuff. I've packed in on loads of stuff, and it's not made any tangible difference whatsoever.
Look at me giving health advice now that I've stopped drinking alcohol. I'm such a hypocrite, ain't I?
A little bit.
25-degree nozzles, twin bar, 18-inch.
How long have you been dry for?
I've got it on my laptop. Hang on.
Was it since you made a tit of yourself at the Pure Sale party? Is that what happened?
I didn't make a tit of myself. Soph got
No,
drunk.
no,
I was driving.
Was you?
I've been sober since the 11th, so it's not been long. It's been about 2.5, 3 weeks.
11th of February.
Yeah. So
It's amazing. The colour's starting to come back in your face. You've lost your bags from under your eyes. Is your liver functioning again? You don't look as yellow as you did before.
I was just saying earlier, I feel like I'm more on top of stuff. I'm more... You haven't been drinking for a couple of years, have you?
No, I pretty much stopped when the girls came. I was absolutely terrified of one of them crawling in the bed and me rolling over on them without me realising in my sleep.
Yeah.
And I used to get home and just enjoy a couple of cans at home. You know what I mean? Nothing mega, not like you doing bottles full at night, but maybe a couple of 3 cans, maybe 4 cans of Carling, just throughout the evening. But when you do that every night, it soon racks up. And it was habit. It was just habit. I didn't even want to drink it. It really was just habit. Because in my youth, I was a bad drunk.
Yeah.
So up until my 30s, if I got drunk, I'd just want to scrap with people.
I associate it with relaxing. That was my problem. I thought I've had a hard day, because I do work hard. I work bloody hard. And I think I deserve this. But if you're saying that to yourself every day, it's like, yeah, you've got a problem. Carnivore diet worked wonders for me. Did it, CLS?
Did you genuinely think you got a problem?
So before I stopped, between you and me and 90 odd other people, I don't know that it's stopped. How many people are watching? I don't know.
79 now. Reasonable retention.
Yeah. Between you and me, before I stopped, I'd had at least 2 pints every day for the last 3 weeks. And I was like, why am I doing this? Why has it got to the point where I'm wanting to do this every day? Like, this seems weird now.
Habit.
I really enjoy it. I look forward to it at the end of the day. But it also scatters my brain, makes me feel anxious, makes me feel like makes me paranoid. It makes me disorganized. It makes me feel like I've got the world on my shoulders and there's too much going on and I just can't handle it. Now, I've got nothing on my mind. I'm fine. And I'm organised. I'm on top of stuff. We're ahead. Last week, we're ahead. I took Sunday off. Well, I didn't because I was editing videos and doing admin, but I was able to not go out on Sunday because we'd caught up all week. I've ordered everything I need for this week. I'm just like, I'm fine. And I've never had this feel. Like, I haven't been sober in 10 years. I've been drinking regularly for the last 10 years or so. And it's nice. I think I'm being a better dad, a better partner. I'm more attentive. I'm more present, making better decisions. Everything's fine.
Channel's gone down the pan.
Channel's,
but other than that,
the channel's suffering. I do work on Sundays. Yeah, Dauntless. I have Tuesdays and Saturdays off. I work every Sunday.
Yeah, I think when you have to remind yourself or have a word with yourself, I think that's when you know you're on the cusp of you're sort of nipping a potential problem in the bud, aren't you? At that point, you're sort of saying, you know what, I'm aware that I'm now doing this, so let's stop it before it becomes something.
I knew for years I needed to pack it in, because I've had some stints of like real heavy drinking, like 4 or 5 cans, like every night.
But that's when you've had a bad day. That's a real slippery slope, isn't it?
Yeah. But also, I proved to myself in the middle of summer that I could just stop for 6 weeks. But then I'd be like, who am I doing this for? This isn't sustainable. I'm never going to quit forever. So what's the point in quitting for a month?
This isn't sustainable.
Well, I think about
really
it. I think about it with diets and stuff. Like, why are you doing dry January? Why are you doing a diet just before you go on holiday? Why are you trying to eat healthy when, like, temporarily? Why are you going to the gym for a couple of months? Like, change.
I'm hoping with the fat jabs. There you go. I'm hoping with the fat jabs to do them for 3-6 months, and they'll install a new habit, a new way of being.
Yeah.
Right, that's my plan. I don't plan on doing it forever. I don't think it's a one fix all fix for anything. Do you know what I mean? I think that I'm aware that I've got an unhealthy relationship with food, and that is, if I'm happy, I eat. If I'm sad, I eat. If I'm bored, I eat. If I'm stressed, You see where this is going, can't you? I just like I could eat 2 Sunday dinners back to back. Think nothing of it.
Yeah, I think you've got to be ready, and it's got to be a behaviour change. And I've just decided that I'm ready, and I'm doing it for everything. I'm not just doing it for Soph. I'm not just doing it for the business. I'm doing it because it has a negative impact on every area of my life. So why wouldn't I? I'd be stupid not to. And so, yeah, like I was saying about these, when people say, "Oh, I'm eating healthy," it's like, well, how long are you going to do that for? I think you've got to just decide that you're going to flick a switch and not just say that I'm not allowing myself to eat sweets or chocolate or whatever. I think you've just got to say, like, I'm just going to be more sensible going forward now, forever, not for 6 months. You know what I mean? I think people have got it wrong with diets. I don't think temporary diets are effective.
No, well, they're not, because you yo-yo, you put it back on again.
Yeah, I think you've got to get your... you've got to, like, change your behaviour forever, not just temporarily. But what do I know?
The biggest kicker for me, I'll tell you what my biggest kicker is. I enjoy playing badminton, but because I'm so heavy, when I play now, I'm coming away and my knees are battered. I'm struggling I should probably struggle for 3 or 4 of the days the next week with bad knee pain, because I've turned up and I've really tried, I've really pushed myself, and I've kept up with all the fit people.
I think
and I've held my own.
High impact sports for like larger people are like dangerous, I think. Have you thought about swimming?
The problem with swimming is, here's one for you, Jake. When you get to a certain level of fatness, right, and it's a challenge when you're doing a set of stairs, and you start to blow out your arse doing a set of stairs, when you go swimming, what happens is, because you're half submerged while you're doing the exercise, whilst you're struggling to catch your breath, you end up feeling like you're going to drown and die. Because of that, I appreciate that it's lower impact. And don't push yourself enough. Just go and I could do that going for a walk. You know what I mean? A turbo trainer. Here we go. All the health experts are in now. My granny's sister used to do a remedy that was a teaspoon of honey and a shot of lemon, and she lost all of her fat for a week. Yeah.
Are you locked into doing this jab tomorrow?
No, not yet. I've got my mind into a place where I'm going to give it 3 months, and because I've got enough of me to lose that 3 months can't make a big enough impact, no matter what.
Maybe this isn't the right place to have this conversation, but we're having it, I suppose. But have you considered that instead of doing something as major as like an injection like that you just instead focus on changing habits? Because if you have this injection and then carry on the same way that you are, not that you're doing anything bad or good, but like if nothing changes in your life and you do this injection for 3 months, in a year's time, you're still going to be the same. Do you not think that, like, start by regular exercise, eating well, forever, and then see where that gets you? I think I think you should just do swimming. A couple of times, like 3 or 4 times a week, swimming. And then just eat differently.
You know, when I put a watch on to count my steps,
yeah,
it'll register me as doing, in a typical day, 40 flights of stairs, 30-odd thousand steps a day. And I'll have 2 hours of fitness exercise on it just from being at work.
I was 5XL. I swam and swim every night on keto for the last 3 years. Now I'm just an XL. I'll see you at the expo. Don't do jabs for longer than 3 to 6 months.
What I want to do with the jabs is I want to shift the first bit so it's easier for me to do further exercise. The problem is the exercise needs to be exercise that will interest me, or I won't continue doing it. Been there, done that, tried it, done the diets, done the exercise plans, and unless it's an exercise I enjoy doing, I won't go back and keep doing it. So in the interest of doing, and the ones that I can do and enjoy doing, I'm struggling to do. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I'm making a step to get into a better position to do that. So it goes on. I'm sharing it because actually nobody is talking about these openly. And since I've started talking about it with bigger groups of people, I'm now finding that everybody knows at least 2 or 3 people that are going down the same path.
I mean, you're talking about it openly. I don't know many people that call themselves fat, but you're quite like, you're just like open with it, I suppose.
We normalised it at home.
Yeah.
So the one thing that you get as a kid, so Bella's shut the door now.
Oh, don't.
Right. No. So one thing kids do, right, is the first thing they do is you're fat this or you're fat that. And Bella isn't fat. She's just a big muscly girl. But the first jab she ever gets at school, even Nancy that's as skinny as a rake, the kids pick on her and call her fat. Right. So we normalize, Sonia calls it fat shaming. Right. And she's like, we can't fat shame the kids. And we don't fat shame them. But we've normalised talking about being a bit fat, being a bit overweight, and talking through our problems. And I have no problem. I think it's why that the whole court business recently with that guy bothered me so much, because I'm really genuinely a straight guy, and I'll say as it is. And the stuff that I was being told really upset me with that. Do you know what I mean? So I'm like, I just talk about everything, get it out there. I never used to, never used to talk about anything, because we're blokes and we're not allowed to share our feelings or talk about what goes on. We're not allowed to talk about our mental health. Your group's particularly good because it's other business owners talking to other business owners about their problems, because a lot of the stuff that we face from day to day, you can't share with your friend that's got a job because he doesn't understand. I can't talk to my friends about my business. Now I'm going to Scooby-Doo what it takes to run a business, or the hours that you put in, or the problems, or the peaks and the troughs and all of that. So I, for the last 10 years, have been quite upfront and straight, talk to people. A friend of mine, I don't know if I ever told you, a friend of mine committed suicide during COVID, and that bothered me because he didn't pick up the phone and talk about his problems. He didn't want to speak to anybody. So yeah, I call myself fat and normalise it. We normalise it around our house. We say as it is. Bit of a downer, isn't it, for the night? But you wish you were drunk now, it'd be funnier.
We can't end like this.
I just, you're asking the question. Yeah, I was reading it in the chat. You know what I mean? Maybe it's oversharing. I don't know.
Yeah, like I was saying, it's probably not the conversations we're having in front of 70 odd people, but I've seen horror stories of someone very close to us that's had surgeries to make them skinny, and they got skinny, but the shit they went through to get to that point was horrific, almost dying. And I just can't. I just think now, after seeing that, it's just like, just start by eating right and exercising regularly. Surely, like, the people that you see, the transformations that you see where people have just drastically changed their life before going for like what seems like the simplest option to get a jab.
Do you know what started all this? Do you know what started all this?
What?
I've decided that I wanted to go Turkey and get my hair filled in where it's gone bald. And down the back, I wanted to go get my hair fixed. Because I've got this weird patch that's cracking off and I want to grow a mohawk. Right. And I'd saved up the couple of grand to go and get it done. And basically, Sonia sort of kicked back and went, look, you can't even be bothered to get yourself in shape. Why are you fussing about your hair? And I thought, oh, that was a bit of a tough one. And I thought, you know what? You're right. So I've been on a bit of a mission, and it's not. I know what the pathway is to do it. I'm just too far out the other side, and I'm going to cheat for a couple of months and see if I can get back on the right side so I can go on the exercise path.
I don't think there's a easy way of doing it. I think there's cheating and doing jabs and gastric bands and all that sort of stuff. There's always a downside. There's always consequences. I think hard work pays off.
Tracy, you're going to get your teeth done too. Why do I know what teeth need doing?
Anyway, this has gone far away from pressure washing chat.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Sorry. Yeah. So I'm actually I'm on a diet for the videos.
Did you get one of these?
I've got one of them. Yeah, I got one of them.
Uncleanables.
Apparently, they've got a T-shirt for me as well. Did they give you a T-shirt?
No.
Yeah, I got one of them too.
I got an air freshener in my van as well.
Have you got one of these?
I wonder what you're going to pull out then. Isle of Man £1.
A British £1 note. You got one of them?
No. Is it new?
No. I don't. Say again?
Is it new or old?
Current tender from my visit to the Isle of Man.
Oh, right. Do you know, I think the US are getting rid of pennies? Cents? 2 pennies? I can't remember.
Do you not think it's long before the penny and the 2 pennies gone from here?
I think it's yeah. I mean, people are dead set against not letting cash become illegal tender. Like, you don't want to pay for everything on your card and stuff because like cash is tangible, but it's actually not. If someone decides that cash isn't tangible anymore.
I believe there's a place for cash on cards. I don't shop at any place that's card only. I don't shop at any place that's cash only. Because if they're cash only, it insinuates that potentially they're an illegitimate business. And if they're card only, they're taking on my freedom of choice. So
yeah, I agree.
I either side of that fence, I believe that cash does have a place. Because how does a granddad give his grandkid that's 5 years old £10 to go and get some sweets or something if he has to transfer it to a bank account?
Well, get with the times, granddad, and get your kid a bank account. Maybe it's as simple as that, moving to 2025 rather than...
A 5-year-old with a bank account and a card. Go buy sweets down the shop.
Why not? Under mother's supervision.
Mm-hmm. Squats, wash you on dinner breaks.
Or you can. I'm thinking about investing in gold because my brother had a couple of little gold bars at some point, and the price of gold has skyrocketed the last 4 or 5 years.
Depends how much spare money you've got.
Yeah.
With my money in the past, when I've had spare, I've tried to buy things that I would find useful, but will retain value. Not maybe all of its full value, but will retain value when I want to sell it. So I had a bunch of classic cars at one point in time. We've talked about it, haven't we? Because you had classic cars as well. At the moment, a few years ago, I brought a couple of watches. You know, I'm not even a watch man.
But it's like a good investment if it's a good watch and it's a sought after one.
Gold is Smout coin. That's a good one. Yeah, we should do Smout coin. That'd be a good one. Only redeemable in the channel and approved suppliers.
Yeah, I was. I won't allow myself to buy anything nice because I bought this watch. It's like someone commented on my video saying I'm showing off my new watch, but it's
Casio.
49 quid from town on offer.
Is it a genuine Casio?
It's a Casio, and I only got it because it's waterproof, and I got Jakey one for Christmas. I thought I'm jealous. I want one as well, so I got myself one.
Nice.
I went to buy a car the other day. I went to look at a XJ. I wanted the 5-litre supercharged, but was going to settle for the 3-litre V6 twin turbo XJ. In the grand scheme of things, very affordable car. You get loads of kit with it. 0 to 60 in 6 seconds. Like insane car for under £7,000. Can't believe you can get that car for under £7,000, 140,000 miles or whatever. And I just won't let myself buy it because I only want it for 2 days a week when I do the school run. Because I don't want to drive the big mothership to just go and get Luca from school. And I'm like, is it going to cost me money? Yes.
How old are you now?
32.
Have you ticked off any bucket list items?
I haven't got a bucket list. But just let me finish on this thought for a second because I'm seeing things now. Since I started the business, when I sold my classic car, I'm looking at everything as an asset versus a liability. And if it's going to cost me time and it's going to cost me money, it's a liability. If it's going to make me time and make me money, it's an asset. And even in my personal life, that is now a switch that I've turned in my head. So now I feel like I can't enjoy stuff, holidays and stuff. I don't want to pay for a holiday. Like Sophie and the kids, of course, want holidays. I see them as a waste of time and a waste of money and a rip-off. So I won't let myself enjoy a holiday because I think, look at how much money we're spending. I want a little vivarium. I want a little tank with shrimps and some vampire crabs and a crested gecko, and I want to design it all. But I won't allow myself to because it's a responsibility. It's going to cost me time. It's going to cost me money. But it's for my birthday. I wanted to treat myself because I haven't bought anything for myself for the last God knows how many years. And I can't do it now because I can't bring myself to do it. As soon as I sold that classic car and I listened to a podcast, a switch turned in my mind. So what do I do about that, Darren?
So, why are you currently working?
This is something that I asked myself the other day. Yeah.
Right. So,
what am I doing?
If you don't have a goal or a dream or a place you want to get to, that could be 2 holidays a year or a Porsche or whatever it is that's on your list. And we all have I'd really like a Lamborghini dream. Do you know what I mean? Where the reality is, I'd be happy with my Jaguar XJ. It's a supercar, it's a nicety, it's just not a brand new one. Do you know what I mean? So, if I've been saying since I was a kid, one day I'm going to have a Lamborghini. I'm going to have a Gallardo. I'm going to buy a Gallardo.
I want a Porsche.
Right.
I want a Nissan GTR. That's my dream car.
Right. So, and I've been saying forever, I'm going to have one. When I had my last Porsche, I could have brought that Lamborghini, but my taste had changed.
Mm-hmm.
So it's the same price. So I had a Porsche instead, and that ticked the box for me. That was like a dream goal box ticked, done. And once I ticked the box, it was really weird. I was dead happy for the first couple of weeks I had it. Then I was happy every time I drove it. Then every time I walked out of the house, I saw a pile of money sat on the drive.
Mm-hmm. That's my fear.
That I wasn't using often enough. And it made me grumpy. Really grumpy. So I went through that window for a bit, and then we ended up buying the house. So differently from me, we chose to rent. Well, there's nothing wrong with renting. We chose to rent all the way through because it was stability for the kids while we were growing the business. Because I started the business before I was involved in a family or buying houses, which meant I didn't have good enough books back then, and my mortgage would have been a nightmare. You know how it goes, anybody that's bought any property. So we decided, just in case work ever failed, back in the early years, and we made this decision sort of 15, 18 years ago, that we're going to do the rented thing and not worry about it. And then, am I going to buy another supercar when I sold everything? COVID made on everything at the end of COVID, so we decided to buy the house. So we brought the house, another box ticked. Sonia had always wanted to do it. I wasn't overly bothered. Box ticked. I go to work now because I have a bunch of little goals and things I want to do. So this year, I've set my target to have 2 1-week foreign holidays this year.
Yeah, it's a good goal.
That's my goal. So last year we had 1 extravagant holiday. So we hadn't been away. The kids had never been on a plane. And I say extravagant. I know some people that would consider this to be a pretty shit holiday, right? But for us, it was a really extravagant holiday. So, we had a week and we went to Scapalas and rented a boat and all the nice stuff. Do you know what I mean? It was lovely. This year, I want to have 2 weeks holiday. And that's my aim. I got asked what my aim was, and that's my aim. But unless you have a goal, you're just going to tread water.
Yeah.
In your personal life, you do, and that's not any good, by the way. That's no good for work. Treading water for my business kept me doing the same turnover for 5 years. I treaded water in the middle. I had no goals.
Yeah, that's where I'm at now.
Grow,
I'm just floating now. And I went and test drove that Jag the other day, and I sat in it and I thought, right, if I own this now, I don't feel any happier. All I'm seeing is MOT, tax, insurance, and it just seems like a massive waste of money. But
this might be. Is this because you've just started making reasonable money? You've got to business to the point where you've just started making reasonable money.
No, not necessarily. I'm thinking, like, in the grand scheme of things, do we want to move house? Do we want to build a house? Like at some point, there's a goal where we need all this money to do that. So if I'm spending it now, we're further away from that goal. Then if I buy a gecko, further away from that goal. If I buy a nice watch, we're further away from that goal. But what am I saving for?
Well, that's it. You've got to decide what you're saving for.
Yeah. But then also, what if I'm going down the wrong path? What if I'm saving for the wrong thing and I make a massive stupid financial decision, and then that's all my money in one basket? I taught myself out of everything.
It'll be a McLaren, by the way, for me.
Yeah.
When I get there, but what I've inadvertently done, which my friend in business talked to me about the other day, he said, "You do realise you've legitimised buying a McLaren through your business, don't you?"
That's a good idea. Yeah, it's a good way of doing it.
So as long as you don't have it as your car and you use it for business promotions and you don't aim on keeping it, you can now buy a McLaren through work.
Yeah. Lads, define happiness. For me, it's the family being happy and healthy. Materialistic items bring momentary happiness, but that doesn't mean you shouldn't enjoy them. Yeah, I've got... clearly happiness is being comfortable and
warm house,
family
with
being
food.
healthy. Yeah, not worrying about bills and stuff. But also, some sort of purpose, I suppose. I think I need purpose. And at the moment, I'm floating, allowing stuff to just happen to me instead of having a direction. I'm just the subject of things that happen rather than...
My advice would be is to pick targets which are just on the scope of out to reach.
Realistic, but you need to work harder to...
So it's something that you could do if you pushed. So we want to move house. If we move now, my budget is X. But the house I'd really like is Y. To get to Y, I've got to really push myself. Let's aim for Y. You know what I mean? That type of thing.
I think I've just got to figure out where I'm going, because if you haven't got a direction, then, like you say, you're just treading water, aren't you? You're just floating about, allowing the world to happen to you.
I hate that.
So if you've got a direction, at least you... And if you're clear with your partner about the direction, and you've got some sort of understanding between you, and you're both heading towards that direction, you can't really, as long as you're working hard, you can't really fail, can you? But if you're trying to do several different things at once because you're not sure which direction you want to go, you're not going to achieve any of them. I'll say this now, Jake. 4 years ago, you was in a call centre. Kind of. Oh, yeah. Lifeline. Installing alarms. Yeah. Look at me now. I've got people that sit and watch me on YouTube talk about what should be pressure washing, but actually it's been talking about weight loss and happiness and health.
Oh, come on. I think that maybe what we're missing is one of us doing some form of monthly mental health check-in night. Do you know what I mean? I think that it's very high pressured being self-employed, and we never, ever, ever get to share without being judged.
Do you think it's boring, though? Do you think people will listen?
72 people are still listening. I think that's more than a normal stream for you, so we're doing good.
Because you're here, innit?
Allegedly. Although we did well tonight, 'cause we didn't advertise, I just happened to be free. First time I've been free on a Monday and home in time for ages. I was meant to be at work filming content on my new desk.
Are you going to take up my challenge and just put a video out?
I'm going to play the video back. Might not be tomorrow, but I'll get 2 out this week. I'll get 2 of your list out this week.
All right.
Turned out in 4K glory with perfect sound.
Have you got a buffer tank at your place?
Of course I've got a buffer tank. I just think we run the stuff.
Yeah, like set up, ready to go. So just, plug it in. This is how you plug it in. This is how you turn your machine on. This is how you...
I've got to run a machine in the morning before it goes on a pallet. There you go. The last hour's chat has been ace, look.
There you go. Dad should have a coffee morning.
I might do a Saturday morning, coffee morning, check-in. It's not a big deal. Wonder who'd come.
You're a bit far for me, to be honest. If you were just down the road, I'd come.
Yeah, I know. I'm just that little bit. I'm like that girlfriend that, she's a good shag, but
whoa.
Just a bit far.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean? You can say that because it's a rug, shag pile rug. You can say that.
Thanks for joining me, Darren. On that note.
See, we've left it on a good one. Do you know what I mean? I'm just that bit too far for it to be worth the effort. That's what it is.
You just got me demonetized, so it's like this whole episode.
I haven't demonetized. Did not drop the C-bomb at all once tonight.
Am I joking?
I've been like, Although have you seen all my new tech? I've got a nice new microphone. I just can't get it in the right place, because if I put it here, look, it's like you can't see my face. It's like...
I think you should stop buying tech and just do the videos. Film the stuff. Put it on YouTube.
I got this because with the toy cars, I do lots of podcasty stuff.
Fair
So
enough.
it's like I did this because of the stuff. Right. Have I still got plans to open another business in the south? Oh, I wish. I wish I had time to do that. Anyway. Later status.
Thanks, Darren. Good to speak to you.
Love and hugs. See you at the expo.
Yeah, that'd be fun. I'll have.
Let's plan a giveaway month after the expo. We should check in after the expo and then do a giveaway.
On my stream for my viewers, or on your YouTube.
Yeah, do it on yours if you want. I'm not that much of a SLUT, but it needs to be on mine. Do you know what I mean? We can do it on yours. I'll invite you on mine when I'm giving away my jet wash. You can do the roulette wheel so we can check it's independent.
All right.
How does that sound as a deal? You can nip on and demonetize me just as I've got monetized.
Start dropping C bombs and F bombs.
Players, mate. Take
Right,
care.
see you in a
See you,
bit.
everybody.
Have a good one. Thanks, Darren. That was nice, wasn't it? There we go. There we go. Has anyone got any quick little questions they want to fire at me before I head off? Anything been burning in the back of your brain for the last week that you've been meaning to ask someone, and you... you know what I mean? So the reason I do these is so that all these DMs that I get, instead of spending hours and hours every day replying to people, you can just come here and just there. Thanks for coming, lads. It's not right what they say about you. Is that V3 behind you gonna walk the plank? It's done, mate. It's dead. I'm gonna keep that Claber fit in though, because that's worth a few bob. Yeah, it's just had enough. I might be able to salvage the pump out of it or something. It's just the same. I don't know why I've got another one here. It's just the same as that one. I think that's brand new. I don't think that's even been ran. That's the uprated chemical pump. Have you had experience with Rapid Flow Porcelain Pro Joint? No. Are you talking about no, that's the Nexus product, isn't it? No, I haven't. I saw that you've repointed some porcelain earlier today. How did that go? Or you've ground it out or something, or you've sold it, or you've quoted it, or you've won it. You're going to relay slabs as well. Have a great week, mate. Keep focused. Thanks, Jamie. Thanks for watching, mate. I want to see that gardener backpack fixed. I just don't want to. I want to spend my money on something else. Something more sustainable for the business. Something's loose. I can hear it. Just need to open it up. My V3 requires a couple of knocks to wake it up. The wiring in these is atrocious. If you pull the bottom out of that and you have a look, some of the connectors and stuff, just rubbish. Apparently the big boy backpacks, the wiring's better. But I do like this. They are very handy. It's just not suitable for chemicals, really. And I was on a roof the other day applying the biocide, and after about 3 or 4 minutes it just started to die, and I was like, this has been on charge all night. So definitely needs to be replaced. CLS and XJet. Is there anything that you would add to a giant package from Pressure Washer Sales and Service? The giant package? Is that what they called it? Come and look at my giant package. What did you call it? The giant? The beast? The beast? The beast? The mini beast? The mini beast? Is it? Do you mean the beast, mate, or the giant? I think they do supply it with an X-Jet. Some of them. Can't get my trigger off my quick connect. Any tips? If it's a regular occurrence, check out Darren's latest video on his YouTube page, because he files it down. Quoting it as we speak. Yes, relaying them. Going to be using the rapid flow on this one. Titan can't be used on the porcelain if you were unaware. Yep. Who else listens? Oh, to this. That'd be interesting to know. Yeah, if you don't watch, if you just listen, that would be interesting to know. Someone asked if I could put this on Spotify, but I think there's so many visual elements to this. Not that it's a show and a whole production, but I'm quite often talking about stuff and showing you on the screen as I'm talking about it. I don't think you get the full experience by listening to it, so I think it'd be a bit of a waste on Spotify, personally. Have you ever thought about sealing roofs? Maybe not many offer it, maybe for a good reason. Actually, it's funny you say that. This one that we did the other day, first time I've ever suggested it to a customer, and it's because the tiles were like almost yellowish. Didn't look great after we'd scraped it, and it's through no fault of us. It's just that's what it looked like underneath. So there's the before look. You can sort of see they're very dull anyway. And then there's the before. You can sort of see a few areas of yellow showing through. And after we'd scraped it, I mean, the moss is gone and it looks great, and we biocided it. But it just doesn't look very nice from the road, really. And the customer's spending so much money on the front of his house, making everything look posh, and he's got all grey window frames and all that sort of stuff. And so I said, you know what I haven't tried? He was a really nice, down-to-earth guy as well. I said, you know what I haven't tried? Sealing a roof. And there's a product from Smart Seal, and it's this roof coating, and you can get it in grey. And there's all these different colours. Look, have a bit of that. Look at that for a before and after. That'd be the perfect product. Spray it on. Couple of coats, I'd imagine. 2 coats maybe. Suitable for concrete roof tiles only. And you've totally changed the aesthetic of the front of your home. And if we've gone through the effort of getting up there and scraping it by hand and biocided it, I mean, this, I would have thought, once the biocide has taken effect, this would be a great candidate. I don't know, is it best to to pressure wash it, biocide it, and then coat it? Or can you scrape it, biocide it, and coat it? I don't know. I'll have to speak to Nigel from Smart Seal about that, but I think this would be a great one. Once the biocides had, a month or 2 to take effect, I reckon we come back and we coat it. And he's interested in a quote as well. So I think that'd be a good one. Jack says, I listen. I have YouTube Premium, so I just lock my phone and listen while I work. There you go. There you go. I think I've lost some of the chat. I can't scroll. No. Whoops. Sorry, didn't mean to do that. Good evening, lads. Great video today. Oh, thanks, Jed. Thanks very much. Does anyone else watch the video today? Do you think it's all right? Any feedback? One of the first videos I've done. Well, one of the few videos that I've actually done this year. Oh, the rusty ball bearings. Oh, okay. Try try tipping it upside down and flicking it back and forward and wobbling it. Push it back in and wobble it as you're flicking it. It will eventually come out. You can buy replacement batteries for the backpacks in Toolstation. New pump, new battery, good as new. True, although that does have a new battery in it, because here's the old one. Is that the old one? Or is that the new one? I think that's the new one I bought, slightly bigger. Can you see that? I don't know if I'm actually showing you. I think this is a slightly bigger one actually. That one's probably got the old battery in it. And I bought this for that. Yeah. You can buy a new backpack, which is a lot better for 50 quid. I saw that one. Yeah, that you linked on eBay. What was the flow on that one? Is it similar? Not a queue either, just... Oh yeah, I read that. Would you make an in-depth video of how you market your business from week to week? Cleanco, I don't market my business, mate, to be honest. I put these before and after pictures up on Facebook. I'll tell you what I do. I try every day, as often as possible. I upload my pictures and my before and after pictures to Instagram. It automatically sends them to Facebook as well. I try and do a story every day to show you what I've been up to. So if you go on my page, it's going to be loud, I'm sorry. If you go on my page, you'll see my story. Just to show you a bit of video footage of what I'm doing every day, and people seem to like the stories. Last week, I had thousands of views on my Facebook story, which is crazy. It wasn't even a reel, it was just a story. 2,000 people had clicked on my Facebook story, which just seems wild. And it's because I'm doing them more regularly. Like I never used to do these stories. It's only like the last 12 months that I've started actually doing them. Mainly because I wanted to show people what we were eating every day. But now it's just turned into, Jakey, just quickly get a 15-second clip of me. Just so people can see what we're up to. So I'm doing stories every day. I'm doing my before and after posts on Instagram and Facebook. And then occasionally, depending on how I'm feeling, I'll do a short. I'll put, like, if I think something's interesting, I'll film a short. And I'll put that on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, and YouTube Shorts. If you can call that marketing, I suppose it is. I would call it more content. It's just like something to look at, something for people to look at. If it markets the business at the same time, which clearly it does, then that's just a bonus. I don't pay for advertising. The only thing I pay for is my website, to host my website. It's about £11 a month, I think. Just a GoDaddy website. I've got leaflets, but I don't really use them to their full potential. I've just been consistent, mate. The only thing that's worked for me in every aspect of my life is the whole business idea was just because I said, I'm finally going to do something consistently for 12 months and just see where it gets me. And it turned into a business, which is cool. So consistency does pay off. And I'm as consistent as I possibly could be with the social media stuff, just because it's free advertising. I don't know why you wouldn't do it. There's people that do this job. I said it the other day to someone. There's people that do this job that don't take photos of anything. They don't take photos of their work. And it's like, what a wasted opportunity. Everything I'm doing, every job I do, I take a before and after photo, at least one. Probably more like 6 or 7. Because the work lends itself to... It's what people want to see. It's like amazing transformations every day. Like, why wouldn't you? It's easy. It's so easy. Just be consistent. Just tell yourself to do it. Pressure wash it, otherwise you'll be sealing in the dirt and the liching. agreed. But if it's dead, if the lichen, if it's had chance to weather off, say a couple of months, biocided, a couple of months, things are getting chance to weather off. We've done a real good job of scraping it. Would you not argue that everything organic on that roof is dead, and so it's okay if you seal over it? I think I do agree with you. I think it would be better to pressure wash it, but could you still seal it having scraped it? You know what I mean? Gonna grab a nap backpack when this one fails. They look decent. K-N-A-P, a nap backpack. I had a similar black spot problems last Friday. Went at it 3 times. Neat, still couldn't shift it. Yeah, I think it's the temperature, mate, because I had it today as well. I had it on this one today. It came up better, but I could see when I arrived, I was like, oh, okay, this is going to be another one of those jobs. And this was 3 applications of hypo, and then I just finished it off by rinsing it and biociding it, because I thought those black spots will shift eventually with the biocide. Customer was happy. Customer was over the moon. But it's like that one I did the other day, that I did the YouTube video on. Oh, did I not post it? I must have posted it. Yeah, this one. Like this one here. Amazing transformation, but not to my usual standard. And I think it's just, yeah, the hypo's not working as well. Sub 5 degrees. And it's been stored outside next to the shed. And it's been dropping down to like, it was -3 this morning when I woke up. And so that can't be good for it. How much bio did you use? Which job? Oh, are you talking to Mr. Clean? If you seal the roof with that stuff, will it peel when replacing, say, one tile? No, because it's not like a paint that sits on the surface. So this concrete sealer it absorbs into the surface rather than sitting on top. So look at it as more of a sealer that absorbs in than a paint that sits on the top, I would say. Had the same today. Customer didn't want her roof to go too light after the biocide. I mean, you can either offer the biocide or don't offer the biocide, but it's like, do you want the moss to grow back quicker? Do you want to kill everything organic on the roof? Then you should probably have the biocide. If you seal the roof with that stuff... Oh, I've read that, sorry. I have to replace the controller on mine. Only works on speed 2. Yeah, that happened to mine as well, actually. I bought a second-hand EF 5500 and a controller. I'm going to be building some sort of system with that. That's cool. Is that a chemical pump? How long after biocide is applied are you thinking of applying a roof sealant, and what method are you going to use to apply? I have the same backpack and I put bio in it and it stopped pumping totally as the bio sank to the bottom and it was too thick for the pump. You need to keep shaking the backpack to mix, not ideal. Yeah, I have noticed that as well. If you leave the backpack sat for too long, the biocide sinks to the bottom and it's super thick and gloopy and it'll make the pump labour. We do, you know, shake it every couple of minutes to keep it active, yeah. I'm thinking maybe a month or 2 after the biocide's been applied, allow everything to start to weather off, couple of good rain showers, and then applying it with, I think Nigel said an airless sprayer. He said it's really easy. I texted him the other day. He said, let me tell you what he said. I'm not going to read you our personal messages, but he said, no need for airless sprayer, no worries about overspray, etc. All roofs should be sealed once cleaned to put the weatherproofing / protection back on. There you go. Yeah, so I mean, if you're pressure washing. All these roofers saying, "Oh, you're pressure washing the roof and you're removing the sealer, or you're removing that surface layer and damaging the roof tiles." You could always put a sealer back on top. How much bio did you use? Good evening, Liam. Welcome. Has anyone been watching Liam's videos? 20 litres of water in a 1 litre of bio shouldn't have been a problem. Still almost as thin as water. Steve, what are you talking about? Are you having a conversation with someone? Love your channel. Keep up the great work. Thank you, Mark. Very kind of you, mate. Roof by day got in at 5:45. Podcast at 6:15. Then another at 9. You sound like you're working too hard at the moment, mate. Did you know you can have a key fob for on/off on your gardener backpack? I did, but isn't it only Bluetooth range, which is like 10 meters? Not sure if that would be enough. I suppose the hose, yeah, I mean, maybe it is. I don't know. I'm going to go. I've been here almost 4 hours. Took a little bit of a turn towards the end, didn't it? This is supposed to be a pressure washing podcast / live stream thing. But I hope you enjoyed it nonetheless. I like to keep things interesting, so hopefully someone benefited from it. Should we get someone on next week? I was just going to do this episode by myself, but Darren showed up, so that was cool. Good stream. Thanks, Steve. I need to get a twin bar on my surface cleaner, and then I need to try it and do a video on it once and for all. Definitely beneficial. There you go. What's in the orange box? This is essentially a gardener backpack in a toolbox with a nice digital controller. It's got a battery capacity / voltage readout, so this gives you like bars, like status bars, to tell you how much battery you've got, although I don't think it actually works like that. It's just got a pump and a battery inside, charging port on the side. Just something I made a while back to play with, but I think I'm going to be making a trolley now instead, because my gardener backpack's died. Top stream, Jake. Thanks, Luke. Thanks everyone for watching, and if you're not already, feel free to join the Discord. You can become a member by clicking the join button underneath this live stream or on the main YouTube page. For iPhone users, I'm just going to quickly, for those of you that don't know, you can go onto my YouTube page and you can click here on more. If you don't see the join button, click there and then click there. Look. How's my video doing? Oh, not bad. Right. Have a good evening, everyone. See you in a bit. Oh, I need that hand to... Oh, sorry. I need that hand to use my mouse. Production.